604 Talk 1073 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane, off and running. Brian here with you, John LaBeouf producing. We are starting off your Friday. Oh, nuts. Give me a second, y'all. My apologies. Right out the blocks with a locked up computer. We're starting off your Friday morning at 77 degrees in downtown, although it will get much warmer than that as the day wears on. You heard that forecast from Emma Kate Cowan. We are keeping an eye on any chance of rain over the weekend, if there should be any. Why? Well, because baseball at the box. That's why. We got a lot of ground to cover. We got a lot to get into today. We got 3 guests in the first hour, for crying out loud. Interestingly enough, only 1 guest in the last hour. Before we get to anything else, though, you know how we start off. Top stories and trending. Let's go.
Number 5.
There's a traffic light coming to an intersection along Highland Road that has recently been the scene of several accidents and water rescues, for that matter. After several meetings and hours of discussion between council members, the city of Baton Rouge, city of St. George, and residents living in the area, Move EBR is moving forward with signalizing the intersection of Highland at Pico Road. Everybody who's driven around there knows it's a weird intersection. You hit it at like a 45 instead of a full-on 90, and it has been the cause of numerous accidents along the way.
Number 4.
Baton Rouge Police Department recognized 4 of its own who are responsible for capturing an inmate who escaped from the Orleans Parish Prison. Didn't get first names here, but BRPD officers Butler, Slaughter, Detective Robinson, and Sergeant Riley were given certificates for their work in taking Linton Van Buren into custody.
Number 3.
EBR School Board is considering a proposal to alter school start times for the upcoming academic year, a change that administrators say could offer several benefits for students. So under phase 1 of the plan, then moving into certain schools, elementary schools, including Capitol, Melrose, and Marydale, would begin classes at 8 a.m. instead of the current 8:25. Dismissal would be 3:15 instead of the current 3:25. For secondary schools like Glen Oaks and Capitol High, the proposed start time would actually push back to 8:50, with the school day concluding at 4:05 p.m.
Number 2.
A West Baton Rouge Parish Sheriff's deputy lost her job after she was arrested on domestic violence charges earlier this week. West Baton Rouge Sheriff's Office said the former deputy, 28-year-old Delicia Alfred, was taken into custody by BRPD officers booked into the East Baton Rouge Parish Prison for battery of a dating partner with child endangerment. Alfred, who had been a deputy since 2021, was, of course, fired.
Number 1.
Graduation today for the 93rd Basic Training Academy for BRPD is going to be held at the Eskruma Baptist Church. The graduation will be held starting at 9 a.m. this morning. It's trending, John.
Well, the growing feud between Elon Musk and President Donald Trump escalated yesterday when the president threatened to cut government contracts connected to Musk.
And Musk threatened to pull the one way to get to and from the space station. These two are getting nasty, man.
They really are.
They are. They're getting petty. They're getting nasty. Did this all just start over the one big beautiful bill?
I think so, yeah.
And Elon Musk wanting, like,
that was the straw that broke the camel's back, Brian.
I know, but Elon Musk is pushing the same economic plans as Ra's al Ghul.
For those who may not get the reference. Hey, there's a new COVID variant spreading across multiple U.S. states after causing significant surges in China and Hong Kong.
Oh, dust off that chestnut, huh?
Yeah, health experts
Look
say
out
the
now.
strain appears more transmissible, but not more severe than previous variants.
Doesn't matter. We all just perpetually have COVID now.
Pretty
It's
much.
just-
It's there.
This is where I'm at with COVID. Is like I believe I've got the long COVID. Remember we talked about long COVID for a
Yeah.
hot minute? I believe I've had COVID since 2022.
No doubt. Little brain fog. Are you still like dealing with like
Yeah.
almost what could pass as allergies?
I'm sorry, what were
but
we talking about?
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
No, it's just the constant fatigue, the weight on the chest,
Yeah.
the Yeah, it's like how many times do I joke about it? I can go to the gym for an hour.
Yeah.
And I'll sweat and I'll put in a good workout.
Yep.
I walk up a flight of stairs here
Right.
and I'm down for the count.
Man.
There's something wrong.
Yeah, something.
So
is
I'm
definitely
convinced that I've got perma COVID.
wrong. Oof. Hey, there we go. The
Not
new
long
variant.
COVID, perma.
Yeah. Hey, circling back to Elon Musk and the president, Musk took to Twitter to claim yesterday that the reason we haven't seen more from the Epstein files is that Donald Trump's name is among those listed. So, like just tick for tack, just going back and forth.
Okay, but here's the real question, though. I mean, Elon Musk
Yes.
has had access to a whole lot over the last few months, right?
Yeah.
So I have a two-part question here.
Okay.
Part one, do you believe him? Part two, if Elon is telling the truth, why did it take till now for him to say something? Why does he wait until they're feuding about all these other things to come out and say, yeah, well, he was on Epstein Island? Like if he was on Epstein Island, then Elon Musk is a terrible person for withholding that until something else set him off.
Yeah.
Until money
absolutely
set him
right.
off.
Absolutely right.
So I don't know if he's telling the truth or not. I have no clue if he's telling the truth or not. But if he is telling the truth and he sat on that for months on end, he is an awful person for doing that.
Definitely says a lot about him, for sure.
Yeah.
Man. When will it end? Maybe they'll reconcile,
I don't know. At least we can eat beef along the way.
That's
BeefIt'sWhat'sForDinner.com is the website. BeefIt'sWhat'sForDinner.com. The Louisiana Beef Industry Council every Friday brings you Foodie Friday. Today we have Rocco in the house. Say what now? Looking forward to this. Not going roast beef.
Ooh.
Not going roast beef. We're going the hamburger po' boy, topped with chili con carne
Oh, man.
and queso. Get ready for Rocco to just randomly start speaking Spanish this morning. I will completely lose all connection with reality this morning. He's taking over the show. I know it. Like, it's just, I know it's coming.
Yeah.
I can't do anything about it.
The 8
And the
o'clock
thing
hour
is, I don't want to do anything about it.
Right.
Because we get to have the hamburger po' boy.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. It's all about the beef, baby.
That's the trade-off.
Iron, proteins, 10 vitamins and nutrients. BeefIt'sWhat'sForDinner.com. If you want some recipes on how you can prepare your beef, BeefIt'sWhat'sForDinner.com. All right, we got to take a quick break. When we come back, sports are up next. 6:15, Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. We are geared up for it's going to be a fast-moving first hour. Okay, we're going to have a little fun this hour in our next segment. Vincent Martella is the voice of Phineas Flynn. Phineas Flynn is one half of Phineas and Ferb. Phineas and Ferb is a fantastically funny cartoon on Disney. It was out for 4 seasons, on hiatus forever, and the 5th season drops today. So got a hold of him. We're going to hear that coming up in our next segment. Then we're going to go from having fun to being really serious. Retired Lieutenant General Russel Honoré slated to join us at 6:35. Yes, we're making that happen today because this time I have his number instead of him having ours. We'll talk about hurricane season with General Honoré, and then we got Lake Urgent Care coming on to round out the hour. In our next hour, State Senator Beth Mizell slated to join us. She is on Jude A. So Senate Judiciary Committee A, we'll get a little behind the scenes from Beth Mizell at 7:15. Patty G stopping by at 7:35. We've got a stack of topics to cover there. And then when we get to the 8 o'clock hour, it'll be Rocco time. Cannot wait for I can't wait for it. It's going to be awesome. Right now, though, tell you what, let's start with LSU baseball, okay? Baseball at the box tomorrow. Looking forward to this. Super Regional rolling into town. West Virginia rolling into town. Mountaineers and Tigers, pretty similar records, both eclipsing 40 wins this year. Glenn Gilbo with Tiger Rag tells our news partners at Louisiana Radio Network he thinks LSU might have the upper hand, but that doesn't mean that this weekend series is anything close to a sure thing.
LSU overall has a better roster than West Virginia. They have a better pitching staff. So I think LSU should be fine. But the Tigers, they're always going to have that threat of just not getting many runs. So there's a chance it could go to the 3 games as well.
But the beauty part there is between Cade Anderson and Anthony Ianson, you don't give up many runs. They've been phenomenal on the mound. Now, Gilbo says if LSU can't wrap up the series by Sunday, Monday's Game 3 could get interesting.
One of them could have an off game. That really hasn't happened. It happened to Anthony early in the season, but it really hasn't happened to Cade, though Cade has given up a lot of home runs. So that's something LSU may have to be ready for, is if one of their studs, top 2 pitchers, just has kind of an off game.
And the thing about when Cade gives up home runs, though, there's nobody else on base. So they don't hurt that bad when they're solo shots. Gilbo expects Ianson to start Game 1. Gilbo expects Ianson to start Game 1 to be available to close out Game 3 if necessary. He thinks Coach Johnson will have to save the sure-handed righty reliever Kason Evans to start on Monday. Gilbo also believes Johnson will stick with the lineup that secured the regional championship versus Little Rock.
I think he's going to keep Ethan Fry at number 2 for the same reason he put Jared Jones at number 2 months ago. He's just a dangerous hitter, and he's really hot, and he's great behind Derek Curiel. I think he's going to keep Jared at maybe 5th or 6th.
And it looked great. It looked great the way it played last weekend. And everything that Jay Johnson explained after the fact made perfect sense. Moving guys around, shaking things up a little bit, everything about it made perfect sense. Especially moving back Bear, where he wasn't going to be like the peak level of attention paid by the opposing pitcher. If you got to face that many guys before him, then there's going to be a bit of a drop-off. Meanwhile, in the NBA, Game 1 of the NBA Finals is in the books. Here's how it ended last night.
Final seconds, no fouls to give. Halliburton looking. Halliburton driving, pulls up, jump shot. It's good! It's good! With 0.3 of a second remaining. Timeout, OKC. Tyrese Halliburton does it again.
111-110, your final score. Indiana takes a 1-0 lead in the NBA Finals. As said, caught a lot of people by surprise, to be sure. Oklahoma City was the heavy favorite coming into the game with 68 wins on the season. Indiana steals one on the road. It's 6:20 at Talk 107.3 FM. Quick break. When we come back, we got Vincent Martella up next.
That's Rocco.
What you say, boss? Yeah, I'm on it. I don't have Jill's number. Can you text it to me? Oh, man. How are you, brother? Please tell me you're calling it that. Oh, hell yes. 2 months ago. Yeah. Do what? 3 plus 3 is 6. I'm not doing this again. I'm not doing this again.
Numerology.
Michelle? No, she doesn't usually get here till after 9. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll see you then, brother. Later. I'm gonna go super fast here because that's a 7-minute interview. Oh shoot. Okay, I got it. Yes. Streets of Baton Rouge looking pretty quiet right now. All your interstate systems are looking good. 10 westbound coming in from Ascension, 12 westbound coming in from Livingston, and 10 eastbound coming in from West Baton Rouge, all wide open. I-110 is wide open, 10 through the heart of the city, looking good as well. Surface streets, there's some congestion being reported on Hooper near Shady Bluff, but if you're not in Central, then you're not worried about it. That's really good traffic from the Shawbill Star Traffic Center. My next interview has got me more dad street cred than any interview I've done before. When looking at today's rundown, what can I say? But Ferb, I know what we're going to do today. We got Phineas Flynn on the hotline. Vincent Martella joins us now as there is a new season of Phineas and Ferb coming to Disney. Vincent, how are you, sir?
I am doing fantastic. I'm so excited to be here with you and with your listeners. And I hope that all of them are watching the new episodes of Phineas and Ferb that are out right now. I really hope they are.
I can guarantee you in the Haldane household, all three of my children. Now, so my oldest is off to college, which means that when she was born, Phineas and Ferb was just first coming out. So all three Haldane kids are big Phineas and Ferb fans. And if I'm being quite honest, I watch the show even when they're not in the room. So it translates to multi-generations here. Was that part of the original intent here, was to have a show that's not just fun for the kids, but fun for the grown-ups too?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was a show that was designed for families to be able to watch together.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that it is so multi-generational and that so many people are able to watch the show with their children is a testament to our writers. I mean, our two creators, Dan Povenmire and Swampy Marsh, I mean, they come from Family Guy. Like, Dan won Emmys for working on the original run of Family Guy, the first 4 seasons of Family Guy. Swampy, our other creator, comes from The Simpsons and from SpongeBob and from Rocco's Modern Life. So these are all shows that really run the gamut in terms of different types of comedies. So they were uniquely equipped to make a show that is meant to be consumed by families, and I think that's exactly what they did.
Season 5, what can we expect?
So season 5, something that I've been hearing from a lot of people who have watched the first 2 episodes, and I've obviously seen quite a few of the episodes already, is that it feels seamless. It feels like nothing's changed. It feels like it's just a brand new summer vacation, and that is exactly what we wanted. Is this was not meant to feel like any kind of reboot or restructuring of the show in any kind of way. We know how much our fans love the format of the show and what the show is all about and the energy of the show and the emotion of the show. And that is exactly what we're giving you more of.
As a voice actor, and I mean, you act as well, but on camera, but as a voice actor, what's that like to, to be connected to a cartoon character to where, Phineas doesn't look like you. Phineas looks like a triangle. So carry that into your real life. Well, talk about that for a second.
Yeah, I mean, it's very fun getting to be a voice actor for a lot of reasons. One of which being I'm a huge fan of animation. And so getting to see all this amazing work that our animators do after I come in and record is just always such a fun experience. But also playing such an iconic character, not to call myself an icon, but I mean, I know that Phineas means a lot to a lot of people. That's what I meant by that.
Yeah.
And so by playing like an important character for Disney fans, and to be able to do it where it's not my voice, it's a character voice that I've created, it's a fun magic trick to be able to pull out and to be able to do for families. Is, if kids tell me that they love Phineas and that he's their favorite character, I can say, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And help me find my pet platypus. And it, blows their minds. It's the coolest thing they've ever heard. And that's such a wonderful gift to be able to give to families who watch the show. It's so nice to be able to do that. So I feel so lucky that I get to do this job, right, to make families so happy and play a character where, I had a lot of creative input into what makes him him.
That was so cool. That was awesome. We're talking with Vincent Martella. He's the voice of Phineas Flynn on Phineas and Ferb. New season dropping today from Disney. It is season 5. And Vincent, one of the things that I love about the show, and I don't know if this was intentional or if it's just the way it played out, but the interaction that all the kids have together, and there's a level of positivity in the way they treat each other, and there's also a level of activity as well. I mean, every day or every episode is about doing something adventurous out in the world every day. How much of this was about getting kids off the couch?
That has always been a massive part about the show is, when Dan and Swampy pitched the show, there were some really important things that they wanted to touch on. One of which is that it's not mean humor. The humor of the show is not mean-spirited. We are not sarcastic and nasty to each other. And a lot of kids' shows are like that. A lot of cartoons are like that. Like, the jokes are at each other's expenses. Every so often, of course, there's, characters throwing shade at one another and giving each other attitude. But that's not where the comedy comes from. It's a place of optimism and positivity. But a big part of it as well was, and this was, mind you, in 2007, 2008, is they were like, we really want kids to go outside and have summer adventures the way that they did when they were kids. So building things using your imagination. And I mean, I grew up in the 90s. I'm 32. And a big part of my childhood, even though the internet became, huge as I was a teenager, but a big part of my childhood was going out, playing in the woods and, using my imagination with my friends and my brothers and things like that. And so that was a huge important part of the show back in 2007, 2008. It's even more relevant now in 2025 of encouraging kids to go out and have adventures, and use their imagination and build things and write music and do all the fun things that our characters do.
You mentioned the music. I got to touch on that as well. In season 5, does the music play as big of a role as it has in the previous 4 seasons?
Absolutely. We have some amazing music in season 5. And in this entire stretch of the next 40 episodes, our first episode pretty much starts with a song called Summer is Starting Right Now. I think there's 3 lines before, it, but it kicks off our new season. And it's a song that I get to sing as Phineas. And you can stream it now anywhere you're streaming music. And it's really, really great. And it was so nice for me to be, I heard it for the first time 3 weeks ago maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so, so cool getting to hear it and see it with the animation after having recorded this song a year and a half ago. And the music on our show is so amazing because our writers and our music team are incredible. And I'm the luckiest, singer in the world. I get to sing these songs that they've written for me.
Season 5 is out now. The want for families to adopt a platypus as a pet is probably going to regain steam. He is Vincent Martella, the voice of Phineas Flynn. I can't tell you how much I appreciate a couple minutes this morning.
No, thanks for talking to me. I hope you enjoy the new episodes of the show.
Galen, I saw where the Supreme Court, they had 3 unanimous rulings yesterday. Which one are you talking about? Because if I'm being honest, I check in to look for a ruling on the Louisiana map, and then I move on. Hopefully that's... We've got to be up by 47 because Lake Urgent Care is lined up as well. I didn't put the guest for Lake Urgent Care down. It's Michael Dupleshan. Duplechain. Which means I'm already going to be 3 live reads behind because I'm not going to fit anything in here either because I'm not taking away General Honoré's time for sure. Byron says, best cartoon in the tri-state area. Wait, let me re-say that. Best cartoon in the tri-state area. I really, really resisted the temptation to do any impressions during the interview. I wanted to. I said, time to go to the hotliners. We're calling it this morning the Interviewinator. No, it was, yeah, that was a lot of fun. He was so good. But like the self-awareness to know as a voice actor that Phineas is iconic. He's not.
Right.
Like that's so like I love humility. Like that's that's this the self-awareness to be able to say, and he's like young, he's like 32. Like the self-awareness to say, like, unless somebody else is drawing this triangle and putting it on TV, I'm nothing.
Right, exactly. And then as a voice actor too, I mean, look at now. I mean, how many people could do Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck? And,
Oh yeah, I know.
You know what I mean? Like, so to have that humility that self-awareness is really, it's commendable because you realize like, dude, somebody can have your job. Like,
Yeah.
you know, next week.
Marcel says Interviewinator, I'm dead. Yeah, Marcel, sometimes I just have more fun than I should with an interview, and that was one of them. And like legit, me and James are hopefully I can get the other. Hang on one second. We got baseball at the box this weekend. Will it run as scheduled? Here with your forecast is McCade Cowan. Patrick says, I know I'm getting old, but is WBRZ recruiting directly from grade schools for tune-in reporters? I don't know, but they did get a meteorologist out of Hogwarts. Oh. Dude, if we had prizes, I would do Phineas and Ferb trivia this morning. Yeah. We don't have prizes, though. 637 Talk 1073 FM, WBRP, mornings with Brian Halliday and rolling right along. Today is June 6th, which means we are just shy of completing the first week of hurricane season. Joining us now to talk a little bit about not just hurricane prep, but looking back on seasons past, we've got retired Lieutenant General Russel Honoré on with us. General Honoré, good morning. Welcome back to Talk 1073. How are you, man?
Good morning, Baton Rouge. How we doing out there, Louisiana? It's hurricane season. Let's get ready.
It is that time. If you're not ready yet, you definitely need to start now. Let's start with the predictions on the season here. You know what? No, I'm sorry. I'm going to do this in reverse order. This year is the 20th anniversary of Hurricane Katrina. There's no way we don't start there because I don't think anything has been more impactful, at least not in my lifetime, more impactful on not just New Orleans, but the face of Louisiana as a whole. And you were a major role player in the aftermath of that. So let's start off with looking back on Katrina. When you think about Hurricane Katrina, where does your mind go first?
Flying into the city on Wednesday morning and landing at the Superdome at 9:47 and seeing thousands of people wrapped around the Superdome waiting to be evacuated. That sight will never leave me. And as I walked from my helicopter and looked on the side of the Superdome, I saw a lady moving a toddler in a shopping cart, and the baby was up to its chest in water. I'll never forget that scene.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that sets the tone. Because from there, I mean, honestly, General Honoré, from there, it only got worse before it started getting better. Walk us through a little bit about, the fight to get everybody marching in the same direction.
Well, a lot of the challenges was the communication systems was down, as you know, Brian, inside the city. The first responders were doing the best they can, but many of their vehicles were underwater. There was trouble communicating between New Orleans and Baton Rouge. I had my meeting with the mayor when I landed on Wednesday morning, and he said his priority was evacuate the city, which I was very clear. I flew to Baton Rouge and saw Governor Blanco, and she reiterated a task to evacuate the city, provide food and water and medicine to people, and keep people alive. And that task was very clear. And we went to work then establishing the logistics it took to get the buses in there, working with the Louisiana National Guard, who did a great job. As you know, the Tiger Brigade 256 was in Iraq at the time, so we had the remnants of the Guard, and they were doing a good job, but their vehicles that were stationed at Jackson Barracks were underwater, so they had to go through some logistics there to get them moving. And we worked out a plan on the back of a piece of paper, and we had a great team in Baton Rouge working at GoStep, and they developed the evacuation plan, and we walked the people out of the Superdome to buses on Padres through the buildings there without getting them into the water, and the buses started rolling. And on Saturday, we got airplanes into the airport because the airport was able to get it open, and TSA flew people in to open the airport because our people were evacuated. And we flew out about 16,000 people there. And most of that work was coordinated with the National Guard, moving people on the buses from the convention center and into the New Orleans airport. So it was a challenging time.
Was there any way to be mentally or emotionally prepared for what you were actually not just going to see, but you see and deal with when you combine, like you said, that just the rows and rows of people standing on the interstate, the rows and rows of people standing outside of the Superdome or the convention center? I mean, it looked like a third world country. And then on top of that, the communications issues. And then on top of that, the element that didn't want to leave the city. Like, was there any way to fully know what you were walking into?
Well, we were watching it unfold on Thursday before Katrina. We were planning in Atlanta. I was the commander of First Army at the time, and we put a request in for ships and helicopters to the Pentagon. And on Friday afternoon, I was told, tell General Honoré We don't have a request from FEMA yet because that was the protocol. They were following protocols that we don't send federal troops until there's a request from the governor, go to FEMA, and FEMA asks for federal troops. But we were planning. We just couldn't get things moving until after it unfolded and the levees broke. That was a game changer, Brian. If the levees hadn't broke, this would have been a bad storm.
Yeah.
But when the levees broke, 80% of the city and surrounding parishes underwater, that changed the game.
Went from bad to worse, to be sure. We've got retired Lieutenant General Russel Honoré on with us. One more on looking back on Katrina before we move on to this hurricane season, and that was a moment of frustration on your part, a moment of on-air frustration on your part turned into an iconic phrase. Give us the background on "stuck on stupid." I think a lot of us still use that term.
Yeah, that's actually from an old blues song called Shirley Brown. This is public radio on Saturday before Katrina, working in my garden. And that song came on, and I said, we can't be stuck on stupid. That song by Shirley Brown. And, of course, it's an old blues song. And the whole time in preparing mentally to be prepared to deploy to respond to the storm, I said, we don't want to do what we didn't do right the last time. We had gone through all of the lessons from Andrew and other big storms that had come to South Louisiana. We don't want to make the same mistakes, and we had dealt with 4 hurricanes the year prior in Florida.
Yeah.
Let's not get stuck on stupid. Let's do what we've got to do to go save lives. So we were leaning forward in that regard, Brian.
Did we learn anything?
Oh, yeah, a lot of lessons learned. One of the things that go unnoticed is that we had a very successful, in terms of percentage, 80% of the people in the area actually evacuated.
Yeah.
It's that 20% that didn't evacuate that we saw unfold as a global news line for everybody. And the other thing we learned, Brian, is most of the people that died, whether that number is 1,300, 1,600, or 1,800, when we recovered them in their homes, and I say we because it was a collective effort of federal, state, and local assets, we put troops in there to help them carry the remains out. Most of those people were elderly, disabled, and poor. And in some cases, they were all three. And the majority of them were alone in their home, Brian.
Yep. Yeah. We got just 3 minutes left with retired Lieutenant General Russel Honoré. We got to pivot. We'll get you back on when we get closer to the anniversary, but let's pivot now to this year's season. It is, of course, predicted to be an above-average season. So give us the basics, the things folks need to know heading into it.
Get ready. Get ready like you're getting ready for football season. Get that 1 gallon of water per person per day, because you may have to shelter in place at home because the infrastructure could fade. We remember Hurricane Ian a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And we remember in Baton Rouge, Hurricane Gustav, when it turns the lights out.
Yep.
So have your water, have your perishable food for 5 days, and have your go kit with your important papers, or put them on a thumb drive, your copy of your insurance papers, because if you evacuate and your home is damaged or destroyed, you're going to have to answer a lot of information to be able to put your claim in. Have your insurance, a copy of your insurance for your home, your flood insurance, as well as your wind damage insurance papers, because if you don't have your insurance number or your insurance policy, when you call that 1-800 number to that insurance company, they're going to tell you to go online and apply for your insurance number. So be prepared is the best thing people can do. Take pictures of all of your items in your home, take inventory, and be prepared like it's going to happen. Prepare for the worst and hope for the best.
Last one before we get you out of here. We've got the retired Lieutenant General Russel Honoré on with us. Last one before we get you out of here. I don't want to go too far down the political end of this, but having NOAA and having NOAA and FEMA at full force heading into hurricane season is unbelievably important. Talk for just a quick second about that importance.
Yeah, that's significance. The weather services are key in the predictions. On Saturday before Katrina, the National Hurricane Center called the President of the United States directly and said, hey, this thing's headed to New Orleans. Get them ready. And on Saturday, President Bush declared a pre-storm disaster, which opened up resources, federal, as well as money coming to the state of Louisiana. Any money they spent, they would be reimbursed. That was significant in helping the state prepare in that short period of time. But the storm has a vote, and it reminds us, Brian, that on any given day, Mother Nature can break anything built by man. So we've got to be ready, and we've got to be prepared, and we've got to have our families. We've got to be prepared to be our own first responders. And when we evacuate, check on our elderly neighbors, family and friends, and old employees that may be isolated and may not have a means to evacuate. That's the bottom line, to be ready for this hurricane season.
He is retired Lieutenant General Russel Honoré. We'll get you back on closer to August 29th for a deeper recap into the 20th anniversary. In the meanwhile, we greatly appreciate a couple minutes this morning. Thank you so much.
Be prepared.
Will do.
God bless America. Thank you.
And God bless you too, sir. Appreciate that very much. Quick break. Coming back, we got Lake Urgent Care next. All right, so we're going to skip your money now. I had to ask him about NOAA and FEMA.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
That's just no way I couldn't. And I knew I was going to run long as soon as I flipped the script.
Yeah.
But how do you not lead with Katrina? Like,
right. Yeah, it's probably best to, I guess, yeah, you wouldn't want to just fit that in the back.
Right.
Back end. Oh, by the way, Katrina.
It's not an afterthought. And there's no telling what time I'm going to get them on when we get back to the storm anniversary.
Yeah.
Which I need to start putting together a roster of everyone I need to run down to talk Katrina. We need to do a big 20th anniversary recap. He's on the list. Got to call Dave Cohen. It's one of my favorite stories in radio.
Which one?
Is when the storm was hitting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, overnight hours into the 29th.
Yep.
And I was working overnights at WJBO.
Oh, really?
And my job and they were fully automated, everything was just running on its own.
Yeah.
I walk around with a black cordless phone. If the phone rings, either one of the stations is off the air or Riverbend nuclear power plant melted down. Okay. One of those two things is going on. Okay? So you hope the phone never rings. You walk around once an hour to make sure all the stations are on the air, blah, blah, blah. All right. And we don't have to do that here because we're not the emergency response station.
Oh, okay.
We have the EAS system.
Yeah.
But if you're driving down the road and you see hurricane evacuation route, it'll have WJBO's station on there, not ours. So we were required to be manned 24/7. I don't think that's still the case. Anyway, that was my job, is just babysit radio stations, okay?
Okay.
Like babysit radio stations like you would babysit a house plant.
Yeah.
Phone didn't go off, but it's the middle of the night. It's like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. And huge pounding on the back door. Huge pounding on the back door. I open up the door, and this guy who I've never met before is cursing me out. He says, "Where is WJBO studio taking over?" And I said, "Whoa, I don't know who you are. You're not taking over anything."
Dang.
He said, "You don't understand." I said, "I probably don't." Oh, grab that.
Studio. All right. Yes, sir. Looking to have you up here in just a minute or so. All right. Thank you.
But he's like, "I don't know. I don't know who the bleep you think you are, but I have permission from Dick Lewis. Dick Lewis is our general manager.
Yeah.
I have permission from Dick Lewis, and we're taking over the radio station." I said, "Well, until I talk to Dick Lewis, you're absolutely not."
Jeez.
So he starts cursing me out left and right, and then I'm like, "Just call Dick Lewis and have him call me." Like, it's just that simple.
And meanwhile, like, oh man.
And well, a couple days later, we made up. I mean, it was a very heated moment, but
but I mean, yeah. I guess so.
at one point in the conversation, he goes, when he's saying, I don't, who the bleep do you think you are? And I said, "I don't know who you are." And he says, "I'm Dave Cohen." And I'm like, "Why didn't you say so?"
Should have just led with that.
6:51, Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. So we got that summertime theme going this morning. Talking with Phineas from Phineas and Ferb. Talk with General Honoré about hurricane season. Well, let's talk about urgent care over the summertime. And, really, some of the top reasons that people end up in the urgent care. Joining us now is Michael Dupleshain from Lake Urgent Care. He's one of the providers over at Lake. Good morning. How are you?
Hey, good morning. Thanks for having me.
No, glad to have you on here. Glad to be talking about this. Hopefully, we could use these next 7 minutes to follow that adage of an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, right?
Yeah, sounds good.
Let's start off with some of the top reasons that people end up visiting urgent care during the summer.
So yeah, during the summer, we sort of move away from cold and flu, and we start seeing a big increase in conditions like heat-related illness. These include things like dehydration or heat exhaustion. We also see a lot of bug bites and insect stings. A lot of sports injuries, of course. Skin issues. Of course, we'll see rashes and sunburn. We'll see food poisoning from eating outdoors, and then, of course, a lot of allergic conditions, especially reactions to plants or insect bites.
Let's break a few of those down. I mean, some of them are a little more self-explanatory than others, but are there certain things we need to know about, like, let's say, heat-related illnesses and how, it doesn't happen as quickly as we might think. There's buildup here.
Right. Definitely, these conditions are, very serious, and they're more serious than what, most people think. Heat exhaustion, heat stroke, they can definitely sneak up on you, especially in Louisiana heat. Some early warning signs you want to look out for, obviously, is, dry mouth, feeling lightheaded, sweating a lot, and, you should start to hydrate quickly. More serious symptoms, including, lightheadedness, nausea, confusion, should never be ignored. But, it's really important to stay hydrated, drink lots of fluids, take breaks in the shade, and avoid peak sun hours when it's possible.
Especially on the hydration thing. That's not a quick fix. I mean, hydration is an ongoing process. You can't just chug a bunch of water after you realize it's too late.
Right. Even if you're, not outdoors, you should be drinking fluids, throughout the day, every day.
And fluids does not mean ice cold beer. Let's be very clear about that. We got Dr. Michael Dupleshain in with us. He's a medical director over at Lake Urgent Care. Talk about some of the summer reasons for summertime visits to urgent care. All right, let's talk sports injuries. When it comes to the sports injuries, how much of this is the kids playing travel ball or little league or whatever, and how much of it is maybe the dads and moms being weekend warriors?
It's a bit of both. Kids definitely make up a big portion, but adults are right there with them. It's, whether it's playing softball, biking, or, parents out there doing yard work, we see a lot of sprains, fractures, and things like abrasions or cuts. So luckily we can diagnose and treat all of those injuries very quickly.
Look, when it comes to the older folks ending up over there, I don't think I'm alone in that regard. I'm not like some random klutz. It's like a lot of grown-ups maybe overextend themselves, to be sure.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, we're all more active during the summertime.
Yep.
And then, of course, it's we sort of forget to maintain the rules, which are basically you should probably, work out or do activities either early in the morning or late in the evening. So, people tend to try to do too much and may fall or hurt themselves, or do too much and not realize they're trying to get all of that work done.
We're chatting with the folks from Lake Urgent Care about some of the reasons folks end up in urgent care over the summer. You mentioned bites and stings. What puts someone over the top to end up in an urgent care for these situations?
Bites and stings are pretty common. I mean, certainly you want to go in and get checked out if your body is extremely swollen, if it's painful, or, showing any signs of infection, redness, warmth, and increased pain. Of course, if you have any trouble breathing or swelling of the face or throat, that can mean a more severe allergic reaction, and, that's an emergency. You need to seek medical attention quickly.
Oh, go ahead. Continue, please.
I was just going to say it's important that understand that when it comes to taking care of those things, if you have access to antihistamines and things like that if you think you have an allergic reaction, and get on those quickly.
We've got a couple minutes left with Dr. Michael Duplichan from Lake Urgent Care. Food poisoning. You mentioned food poisoning in that list. That one caught me by surprise. Tell me a little bit more about why that's common in the summer.
Yeah, definitely. With cookouts and picnics, things going on outside, food can spoil quickly in the heat. And so we often see cases from people, having undercooked meat or dairy left out for too long. Of course, if you have symptoms like vomiting, diarrhea, or fever that lasts more than 24 hours, it's best to go ahead and get checked out to make sure there's nothing more serious and hopefully prevent any, more serious conditions, including things like hospitalization. So, we're definitely seeing more of that during the summertime as opposed to the viral stuff we typically see in the fall and winter times.
Probably should have led with this one instead of waiting till now, but how do you know when a sunburn is severe enough to come see you?
If you have blistering, widespread burns or other signs of dehydration, you should definitely get seen. And if you feel like the blisters are becoming infected, definitely come in and, let us take a look.
When it comes time to make that visit, though, of course, Lake Urgent Care is out there for folks. Why choose Lake Urgent Care this summer?
Well, I think, we make it easy and we get you the care you need and we do it quickly. Of course, we're open, 7 days a week. We have extended hours at all of our clinics. We have online check-in. You can save a spot and that'll save you some work when you come into the clinic. We do have virtual care for minor injuries so that you don't have to leave the comfort of your home in some cases. Mm-hmm. To help along with your fitness journey, we also have our, medical weight loss programs. We have injections, including semaglutide and tirzepatide. And so those are all, reasons why, we can certainly help you out.
Any closing thoughts before we get you out of here?
Yes. So certainly, you make sure that you're, stay hydrated, keep reapplying that sunscreen, make sure you're storing your food properly when you're cooking outdoors. And remember, the important, warning signs when it comes to heat, exhaustion, or allergic reactions. And please, don't hesitate to visit us, whether it's in person or, it's virtual, if something doesn't feel right.
See, the word was reapply. Reapply the sunscreen. Not just apply the sunscreen, yes. Reapply the sunscreen. That's the key right there. Dr. Michael Duplichan, Medical Director over at Lake Urgent Care. Thank you so much for hopping on board today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Always.
Take care out there.
Will do. You do the same. Coming up on 7 o'clock at Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. Man, how about that for a first hour? We're not anywhere near done. We're still bracing ourselves because 1 hour and 10 minutes from right now will be Rocco. We'll check in on the legislative session with State Senator Beth Mizell at 7:15. We'll talk with Patty G at 7:35. Right now, here's news. There's 104 days in summer vacation. Chandler, oh, by the way, good morning, Christy. Welcome in, sweetheart. Chandler says, I didn't have he was pounding on the back door on my bingo card today. The front doors were glass. The back door, you walk around the atrium to the other side. That's where the back door was. And yeah. Anyway, he finally says who he is. And once he says who he is, I instantly believed everything else he had to say.
Yeah.
But I'm like, if you're just coming in like a head full of steam, looking to shout at somebody, what do you think's going to happen? You're not going to railroad me. Honoré will be featured today. Okay. Beth Mizell will be featured today.
All right.
The headline for Beth Mizell, going behind the curtain for Judiciary A. And you can run her through AI for writing, her and Honoré for the writing. Okay. The headline for Honoré.
I'm sorry, going behind the curtain. I'm sorry.
For Judiciary A.
Okay. Cool.
And now, I guess I have to go find another headset, since someone has stolen the headset out of here that I have in that drawer specifically for Rocco.
Dang it,
Whoa,
man.
whoa, I found it.
Whoa.
They just moved it.
There you go.
It's
Okay.
supposed to go in the drawer.
Okay.
All right, Dan. Now, of course, I will give him the opportunity to choose. Do you want to be heard, or do you want to take care of your hair? And he will inevitably choose his hair until I talk him into the headset again.
Yeah, right. I mean, that's too early to go off the rails. Wait till the 8 o'clock hour.
Well, we got to get Patty G out of here before he...
Right. It's going to be like, man. Yeah, there's something about Fridays, man. It's just like, oh my gosh. Yeah, it was so sad, man. I look back, I'm like, I thought I had some more coffee. I look at my cup, I'm like, no.
And there's no more downstairs. I've got to run down to the basement to get more baggies.
Oh, crap.
Get a K-cup if you want.
Might do that. It's like, man, this week's catching up with me. Shoot.
Chandler says you're not going to railroad me. Stop it with the quotes, Brian.
Going to be a hot day.
Oh, my God. The glorified crew is too much this morning. Ultimate prize is studio ride along. No microphone, just sitting and watching. It's boring. Unless
Yeah.
Rocco's in here.
Right.
We have our moments. But the regular show is just, it's more about like prepping for the next segment. You know? Y'all are so disappointed he called me Brian.
Oh, man.
.705 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Hour 2 of Mornings with Brian Haldane coming your way right now. Brian here with you. John LaBeouf producing. Get you ready for a busy hour this hour with State Senator Beth Mizell. And we'll talk a little business with Patrick Gremion, host of the Patty G Show. Hops in here one Friday a month. It's not normally the same Friday that we have Rocco, so I'm going to do my level best to keep everything above water today. No promises. No promises. By the way, you can always follow the show on Facebook Live. In fact, very interactive show over on Facebook Live. We got the glorified crew chiming in regularly. By the way, the Facebook Live coverage presented by the folks over at Lake Urgent Care. But, John, they're a little disappointed this morning.
And why is that?
Because General Honoré got my name right this time.
Yeah, most people wouldn't be disappointed in that. But
No,
explain.
It was so I had the General on a few years ago.
Right.
Years, mind you. And he called me Howard.
Okay.
But it was like the entire interview.
I was going to say, so he just rolled with it.
Yes. What do you do? Correct him? He's General Honoré. Right? You don't.
I agree.
Exactly. So I just, for that morning and mornings after, I was Howard. I was thinking of changing the name of the show. It was Yeah, of course they grab it and they don't let go. The Facebook the crew, they don't let go of it. So they were like, "Dang it, he got his name right." So, yeah. Anyway, you can follow us on Facebook Live or on YouTube Live, courtesy of the folks over at Lake Urgent Care. All right, we got a lot of ground to cover, and time is short, so let's get right to it. Top stories and trending.
Number 5.
I had the worst argument yesterday about whether or not it should be "This is top stories and trending" or "These are top stories and trending." Grammar nerds, sound off on Facebook Live. Because top
As
stories
a segment,
yes, is a singular segment with a plural within it.
Right.
Nobody cares about that at 7:07 on a Friday morning. No, when it's 76 degrees in downtown Baton Rouge. All right, number 5. The traffic light coming to the intersection of Highland and Pico. This is after several traffic incidents and water rescues, several meetings, hours of discussion between council members, Baton Rouge, City of St. George, residents in the area. Move EBR is going to move forward with signalizing the intersection of Highland and Pico. And if you're familiar with the intersection, you already know it's this weird 45-degree angle where it meets up. It's a very difficult intersection to navigate, and, well, the number of accidents we've seen is a direct reflection of that.
Number 4.
BRPD has recognized 4 of its own who are responsible for capturing an inmate who escaped from the Orleans Parish Prison. Officers, and I don't have first names here, Officers Butler and Slaughter, Detective Robinson, and Sergeant Riley were all given certificates for their work in taking Linton Van Buren back into custody.
Number 3.
East Baton Rouge School Board is looking at changing start times, putting this in phases. Under phase 1 of the plan, elementary schools, including Capitol, Melrose, and Marydale, are going to move their start times up in elementary school from 8:25 back to 8, and they're going to move their dismissal time from 3:25 back to 3:15. Now, the high schools, they're moving this in 2 schools to start off with, Glen Oaks and Capitol High. They're going to push back to 8:50, with the day concluding at 4:05 p.m.
Number 2.
A West Baton Rouge Parish Sheriff's deputy lost her job after she was arrested on domestic violence charges Tuesday night. The Sheriff's Office said former deputy 28-year-old Delisha Alfred was taken into custody by BRPD officers, booked into the East Baton Rouge Parish Prison for battery of a dating partner with child endangerment. Alfred, who had been a deputy since 2021, was, of course, fired.
Number 1.
2 hours from right now, over at Estruma Baptist Church, you are going to see the graduation of the 93rd BRPD BTA. That, of course, stands for Basic Training Academy. The 93rd Basic Training Academy graduation going on just a couple of hours from right now. Coming up on Tuesday, Chief Morse will be in studio with us. We'll talk about that graduation class. We'll talk about the officers that were honored for capturing that escaped inmate from OPP as well. What's trending?
Beef. The growing feud between Elon Musk and President Donald Trump escalated yesterday when the president threatened to cut government contracts connected to Musk.
See, beef is trending right now, man.
That's it.
We're going to have hamburger po' boys coming up about an hour and a half from right now.
But we'd rather have it on a
beef.
plate, right?
Right. I would rather beef. It's what's for dinner. I would rather the vitamins and nutrients
That's
that
right.
come with beef, not the beef that Donald Trump and Elon Musk have. That's a completely different kind of beef. You don't have that's not the Louisiana Beef Industry Council over there. No, that's their own beef.
Oof. Yeah, we're seeing it, man. It's getting nasty. It's getting really nasty.
And I have a feeling it's going to get even nastier 2 stories from now.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Let's go.
Well, in other news, there's a new COVID variant spreading across multiple U.S. states after causing significant surges in China and Hong Kong. Health experts say the strain appears more transmissible, but not more severe than previous variants.
Did China and Hong Kong ever stop wearing masks?
I don't know if most people in Louisiana stop wearing masks.
Most of us stop wearing masks.
I think most of us.
Maybe
there's a slim majority. I still see rocking there.
Every once in a while. It's not that many. It's fewer than 10%.
Maybe I'm being a little overdramatic.
I think you're being a little overdramatic.
But still.
But my point is if they never stopped wearing masks in China, why is it transmitting so much? Huh?
That's a good point, right?
Right? That's not me being petty.
Nope, not at all. You know who's being petty? We're going to circle back to Elon Musk and the president. Musk took to Twitter to claim yesterday that the reason we haven't seen more of the Epstein files is that Donald Trump's name is among those listed.
I don't believe him.
Are you what?
I don't believe
No.
Elon Musk. And here's why.
Let's hear it.
Because if Elon Musk is telling the truth that Donald Trump's name is in the Epstein files, then why in the bleep did Elon Musk wait till now to tell us this?
Right.
I don't believe he retrieved this information within the last 48 hours. If he's got this information, he got this information weeks, if not months ago, and he sat on it because he was making money.
Yeah, I would
He
say a
sat
lot
on it
more
because
about
of all
his
his government contracts.
Yes.
And that tells me a lot more about his character. If Donald Trump's name is on that in those files, then shame on Elon Musk till he waits around, and then when his money's at stake, now he's coming forward.
Yeah.
So
And that
shame on him.
Yeah, and that wouldn't mean Elon is in any way. I mean, look, if it is true or if it's not true, then Elon Musk's name isn't cleared either, because it's like, why did you wait? Right. That's the question that's going to come from all of this. Well, then why did you wait?
Yeah.
So
if that's the case, why aren't you saying something immediately?
Yeah.
Because of your contracts. That's why.
Yeah. So I don't know how this would benefit Elon if, one way or the other, because both sides, no matter which way you look at it.
It's bad either way.
Yeah.
It's bad either way. If Elon's telling the truth, it's bad for the president and bad for Elon for sitting on it. And if Elon's lying, then man, what kind of atomic bomb are you trying to drop on that relationship?
Oof.
On all your relationships. 713 to talk 107.3 FM WBRP. So when Franz was in here on Wednesday, he said he was flying up to Wisconsin for his own little personal Catholic pilgrimage, going up to visit a shrine up there. And wouldn't you know it, Franz flew out of BTR. Tell you every day, flybtr.com is the website, flybtr.com. It is so much more convenient, and Franz proved that yesterday. He posted up the picture over on his Facebook page of him at the airport. So I put a little flybtr in his comment section. He's like, really, that's what you got out of this? I'm like, yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Because you didn't have to ask anybody for a ride all the way down to New Orleans. You didn't have to pay for all that parking. You took advantage of the convenience that comes from supporting a local business and flying out of your own backyard. Whatever your travel plans are for business or for pleasure, flybtr.com. Quick break. State Senator Beth Mizell's next. Okay. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more live reads to go today. Why is Louisiana beef in there twice? No, I just did a beef. I'm going to count what we did about beefing as the second live.
And even
read.
as you speak, there's beef right now.
Byron says, I'm dating a high school English teacher. One of the greatest joys in my life is correcting her grammar.
Oh, man.
Kevin says, I'm with John. This is referring to segment singular, and it just sounds better.
Unless you say these are the top stories and trending topics?
No.
Right.
If it was top stories and trending is the name of the segment.
Yeah.
Like this day in history is the name of the segment.
That's why it sounds better with
like
just
the
saying.
outside in is the name of the segment.
Right.
Crime Stoppers.
Yeah.
Crime Stoppers is another great example because that's another plural.
Yeah.
So should the announcer guy, should Neil say, this is Crime Stoppers? You got to call Beth. Call the senator.
Hello, good morning. Miss Mizell? All right. Yes, this is John with Brian Haldane. Looking to have you up here in the next minute or so. All right. Thank you.
716 Talk 1073 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Time to dive into the legislative session, which is coming to a close 1 week from yesterday. Oh my goodness, it's getting there quickly. Let's welcome back to the show State Senator Beth Mizell. Senator Mizell, how are you this morning?
I'm fine, Brian. How are you?
Doing very well as well. So down to crunch time. Give the audience just kind of the overall picture of what things look like in the last week. Is it more the frenetic, crazy pace of, triaging to get as much in under the wire as possible, or is it more like slowly checking out of an Airbnb?
Well, I mean, it has been this week. It's been more, I like to say, frenetic. That might describe it. But this week, I think we were trying to get everything through the committees. I know in Commerce we had 13 bills, and we were trying to get it all done so we could get everything moved to the floor while we could still get the bills through. So it was pretty much like that in every committee this week.
I normally start with whenever I have a legislator on, I start with their bills in particular. But for today, I want to pivot a little bit because you sit on one of the committees you sit on, if I'm not mistaken, is Judiciary A, correct?
Right. Yes, that is an interesting committee to sit on. It's, not to interrupt you, but
go for it.
5 lawyers and 2 laymen, 2 non-lawyers. So we're in a precarious situation in there.
So yes, it is. I like that word too. I'll borrow your word here, precarious, because on the one hand, it is a judiciary committee, so one would assume that lawyers have a better understanding of the nature of the bills coming through there. But on the other hand, you're kind of policing your own if you've got lawyers looking at bills that involve things that affect lawyers. How do you balance that?
Well, I mean, lawyers love to argue with other lawyers.
Yeah,
I have learned that, and they can do it without end. It's an amazing thing to watch. But very often, and Senator Edmonds is the other non-lawyer on the committee with me.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell Rick, everybody, we'll have the insurance companies and we'll have the lawyers, and they're all arguing for their side. We don't have any people being affected by it in that room. And I find that, it's really a pain to come to the Capitol and park and deal with it. It's slow in the committee waiting for your bill to come up. But there's so often in Jude, we are determining some important decisions on, reconciling with what we're dealing with insurance and other issues. And we never have a citizen there except someone who can have a financial benefit from the decision on one side or the other.
We're talking with states. Oh, go ahead. Continue. I'm sorry.
No. So that's what that's what just frustrates me, because as a consumer, not a lawyer on the committee, it's very often. I'm sorry, I've got a scratchy throat. It feels that we're on the committee, but we're the only voices for the citizens that have nothing in the game to gain except trying to be that voice in the middle. So there's been a lot of that between the insurance and the trial lawyer bills this session.
And somewhere along the way, Jude A gets the reputation of that's where good bills go to die. So if I'm reading you right, they just get argued to death.
Yeah. This is true. This is true. It's an interesting conversation, and there's money to be had on both sides, and I think it strikes me a lot of times as whose greed is acceptable, and the lawyers resent the wealth of the insurance companies, and I find that interesting when the lawyers are doing pretty well.
Yeah, I've been making the comment all session long. I'll remember about the insurance company's wealth every time I look at Spencer Callahan's helipad.
Right.
We
a lot of that.
We got State Senator Beth Mizell with us for a couple more minutes. One more on Jude, and I want to kind of put you on the spot here. Is there a better way to do it?
I don't know what it would be. I mean, we've had some split votes. We've had. I mean, we don't always vote in a partisan way. We are pretty fair with the conversation. Some things are pretty straight up divisive, but it's I don't know. I've this is my third term. My first term, I would see the same arguments in Jude. I believe Danny Martini was chair then, and then Beryl Peacock was chair last time, and we would have the same arguments. This is the first time. We may not have moved as much as some would have liked, but we moved more than others would have liked. So somewhere in there, we found the middle ground to get some action in the direction we've been trying to get through since my first term. So I'm pleased with that. From my perspective, I would have liked to have seen stronger action, but from a lot of people's perspective, they would have liked to have seen less. So I guess that's when you make both sides a little unhappy. I've always been told that's where you want to be.
Yes, absolutely. It's the nature of a compromise is no one walks away happy. Let's pivot over to your bills real quick. We've got State Senator Beth Mizell on with us. What were you pushing through this session that you've gotten accomplished that you're already ready to look back proud on?
I can tell you, excuse me, I can tell you really quickly. I had the second step for LED. I mean, we saw what the first step of LED did last year, and we've got this dynamite Department of Economic Development. So this kind of gives them the next steps in their plan. I had a bill from the auditor, which I was excited about because I have a lot of small municipalities in my district. They have money issues, sometimes because of an inexperienced staff, new political leadership. They get themselves in a deep hole, and before the auditor's office is allowed to go in, it has to be a pretty serious situation. So this bill allows the auditor's office to go in and help these drowning municipalities before they're totally underwater, where they can, if they're not paying their taxes or if they're not running their water system right or whatever they're doing that is like in one direction, the auditor can go in and repair that area instead of having to take over the whole town. So that's going to be a win-win for all these little towns that, they want to keep their own power structure, but they need somebody to come in and show them how to do it well. And then I have the bill on procurement, improving the procurement process.
Yep.
Doesn't sound exciting, but it's going to change the way we have to wait for every contract or every action that the state is trying to put into place. We have to wait sometimes years. This is going to streamline that and help us get things moving at a much faster rate. And then the one bill I'd love to talk to you about at length is I have an illicit massage industry bill. There are 50 illicit massage businesses in St. George, and we put some rules in to help the massage board, to help law enforcement. I don't know if you're aware of those, Brian, but the women are held in these businesses. It basically becomes a brothel that the passports are taken from the usually immigrant women, and they're kept in there, and they very often are being run without a license and among a family-centered strip mall. So there's some issues with that. This bill sought to fix some of those issues.
State Senator Beth Mizell is with us. Yeah, that one's SB 221. I actually had it open in front of me because the after-hours massage places, they were a big headline a few years ago, and then it kind of hit the back burner. What brought this back to the forefront for you?
I got a call from a deputy and frustration with their lack of ability to go in there and address it. And like I said, there are 50 just in the town of St. George. I believe there are 38 more in East Baton Rouge. I think that the problem is when you go to the door is locked. They advertise on their website. They have a different number on their website. So when an inspector, say from the massage board, goes in, they won't open the door. They don't answer the phone on the number on the door because they know that's their legitimate number. They only take calls from the number on their online site where the customers go through. So they've got this system, and one thing the bill did is that I was told by neighboring businesses that the law enforcement will go shut them down, and they'll open like a week later, sometimes the next day, with a different name, but it's the very same people. They just reconfigure themselves, and that's why it only says massage on their sign, because they can take any name they want in their business papers and keep doing the same thing they're doing. And so law enforcement just keeps trying to close down, and they keep changing their name. And I think what I've heard happening locally now is they put in a very old law. It's the locals adopted called a nuisance abatement law. I think it was put in place for prohibition, and it allows the locals to go in and basically raid the place. So that's what a lot of locals are doing, because somehow this is just an area where I think it's hard for locals to really get a grasp of how to put them out of business and keep them out of business.
Yeah, and the question then turns to when you say 50 of them, I mean, that's pretty jarring. You
Yes,
see the ones you drive
is.
past
I
for
couldn't
sure.
believe it.
I know,
Right.
same. It's a huge number, to be sure. Like the thought that there's demand for that, like the thought that there would be that much demand.
And the crazy thing with the testimony committee, a great gentleman who owns a business right next door for 50 years. He had some incredible events that had taken place. He was sharing with us, but he said customers will come in their company truck and park right in front of the business in their company truck. And then since that bill passed, I've had emails from around the state. Some of them are right by high schools in different areas of the state. So, this woman was worried about her high school student walking in front of the business. If that kind of criminal activity is going on, what are these kids being exposed to? But also, somebody could walk outside, whatever. But it's, there's a lot of it in the state. I believe there's like over 200 the last time I was told, and it's really, really hard to get a handle on it. So we're going to keep working on it. The massage board is required to reach back and report when their number of complaints, what has been the response to their complaints. Hopefully the bill has given them a better relationship with law enforcement so they can quickly call law enforcement to places like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to have to get you back on. We're running out of time here. We're going to have to get you back on if the session's over, because I really want to talk about a bill that I hope you bring back again, or it finds its way back through the legislative process. And that was about the defendants who are victims of domestic abuse, sexual assault, or human trafficking. When it comes there,
your heart.
I know that
broke my heart, Brian.
Yeah,
it broke my heart.
I know.
Yeah.
It's sometimes bills that are more than deserving come up a little bit short. So
if I could just say one thing.
Yeah, go for it.
Louisiana is the number one state in fatalities of women by the hands of their partner. Our maternal health statistics, we have more fatalities in maternal health, and it stems from the number of women who are killed by their domestic partner, either while pregnant or after giving birth. I mean, it's and just in May, we've had, I believe, 9, and that was up to last week in May, because the women in the Senate went to the mic together to bring that number to the attention of our colleagues, and we're way too quiet about situations that are either killing women or victimizing women, and I'd love to talk to you about that.
No, absolutely. I would love to get you on and take a deep dive into that, to really go at the conversation from the perspective of how do we get this back in front of the legislature in a way that's going to grab everyone's attention and make this thing move forward. So We'll put that on the calendar very soon. In the meanwhile, thank you so much for hopping on board today. State Senator Beth Mizell, we always appreciate it. Thank you.
Have a great weekend.
You do the same. We blew right past news, but I don't care because we blew right past ABC News. I don't care because that was important. All right. Local news, traffic, weather. When we come back, we got Patty G in the house. I give you fair warning, sir. Rocco said he's coming in early. I don't know what time he's going to be here, but there's a better than average chance that our shit's going to get derailed.
Okay. I'm good with that.
I know you think you are. You just don't know yet.
I don't.
You don't know yet.
But I'm here to find out.
Yeah.
You know what they say?
I need to, I will publicly commend you once we're on the air. This is the best prepped segment I've ever had from a regular guest. Haggai sends me over the full rundown of like 25 pages of articles that he covers on his show.
Why? I don't know. I just, as of late, I need to be more prepared regarding stuff that I'm doing. So.
I do like the fact that you gave me a guest bio. Like I need that.
That's some wonderful chat GPT.
That's beautiful. See, my shit looks like, if you stand far enough away, it looks like the logo from Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Yeah. My
The
wife
colors.
pointed it out.
The
My wife,
colors.
and now I can't unsee it.
Yeah. The
Christy
colors.
pointed that out, and now I can't unsee it.
Yeah.
We paid money for that shit.
You paid money for that?
Dang.
What?
That's messed up.
What?
Man, that's so messed up. Dang.
So
I honestly don't know if we paid for it or if it was ChatGPT or some form of AI.
So he paid for that, and I did that for free.
Yeah, what is that, AI?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I'm telling you. That's it.
So whenever I throw in radio talk in Baton Rouge, you're the first name that pops up
No shit.
in ChatGPT. I am fifth.
That's not bad.
No. But you pop up first. Like, mornings with Brian Howe. I was like, look at this.
How are the sports guys not ahead of me?
Dude, I don't know. They couldn't give you all better logo.
But see, I loved it. Well,
No, the beat I'm talking about this. They
so
couldn't give you all better.
on Facebook it shows up fine.
Okay.
It's
It's just in studio. I understand. Look at this. I say, what are some radio topics around Baton Rouge business? You are first. Mornings with Brian Haldane.
Okay.
Then you get Strictly Business, the Go Rouge Show,
which
It's
hasn't
Baton
existed
Rouge.
for 2
I know.
years.
It's Baton Rouge, Out to Lunch, and then the Patty G Show.
Okay.
I'm above LBI,
LBI.
Louisiana Business and Industry Show.
That also is gone.
So it's because talk ranks so high.
So is it my show or is it my podcast?
No, it's Mornings with Brian Haldane.
Okay.
Yeah. A weekday morning show on Talk 107.3
I
FM.
wonder where Louisiana Business Weekly's at. My podcast.
I don't know. So is that format helpful for you?
Yes.
Okay. That's easy enough to do. Yeah, it's definitely Jurassic Park.
I know. It's great until you realize it's direct, and then you can't unsee it. I still like it, though.
I mean, what is this building? What's the one that's got the little
You want to tease it or you just want to go into it?
Just go into it.
swoopity swoop?
I don't have internet. There we go.
Look, that one. This one.
Yeah, I know which building you're talking about. That's the fire station. Bogan Walk.
None of those buildings sit like that in reality.
No, they're not in the same order.
So you're gonna paint that on your side of your Jeep?
What's that, a what?
On the side of your Jeep?
I don't have a Jeep.
You need a Jeep now.
Why do I need a Jeep?
Jurassic Park.
Oh. They had SUVs, didn't they?
No, they had Jeeps. Little Jeep YJs with square headlights.
No, the kids were in an SUV that had the sunroof. When it got flipped over, Jeeps don't have roofs.
It was an OG Jeep Wrangler YJ that had the logo on it.
737 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. All right, it's time to welcome in Patrick Grimion, host of the Patty G Show. How are you, man?
Good morning, Brian. I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing very well as well. So, we got a couple different things to talk about this morning, but I want to start with your show, though, if we could.
Okay.
You have moved.
We have moved.
Your general location.
We have.
You are now, like this show, you're now downtown.
I am. Corner of 3rd and Laurel.
What's at the corner of 3rd and Laurel?
Arguably the first skyscraper in Baton Rouge.
Not arguably. It's not the first skyscraper in Baton Rouge.
The Remain building.
Yeah.
So I'm still, I now acquired or am leasing another space in the Remain building to make it a lot closer to my normal day-to-day.
Yeah.
Cut my commute down from, 15, 20 minutes to 15, 20 seconds. It's really great.
But there's something bigger as a part of this, though, and that's
Correct.
the I don't want to say revitalization because downtown's pretty vital. Revitalization isn't the right word. Reinvigoration, I think, would be a better word.
Yeah, I think we're trying to kind of reignite and push more people here because with that healthy downtown space, we can kind of hopefully trickle that off throughout the rest of the city.
Yes.
But for me, it was definitely that. I was, been there since December for the advisory firm and realizing that this has got some great stuff already here, more coming. I need to do my part to bring people down here. And so literally within the first show we recorded downtown, the guests, as soon as they were done, called over their spouse and they went and had dinner. And I'm like, that's great. They were able to walk to a restaurant downtown after we recorded the show.
You know where they went?
They went to Cecilia. Really great spot.
Yeah, it's right across the street, too.
Oh, it's like my go-to lunch spot. There and the Vintage are like two spots right across the street from me that are just super, super easy. The Vintage, though, just has so many vibes going at once.
Look at that.
Well, excuse me.
Yeah.
Just dropping that down on me.
I'm sitting on $50 worth of gift card from Cecilia, so.
So we're going to lunch after?
I don't think I'm having lunch today because Rocco's coming by. So I think I'm going to be pretty full off of hamburger po' boy.
It's the nicest way anyone's ever told me no.
Yeah. Well, you're more than welcome to some hamburger po' boy if you want to stick around after the segment. Okay. So podcast.
Yes.
Downtown. I'm going to ask this as bluntly as I can. Okay.
Okay.
The hell does it matter? What does it matter if you're downtown versus a podcast is consumed wherever it's consumed? The location of, and I understand you sent somebody across the street to eat dinner, which is awesome. But what is the significance of saying and my studio has to be downtown?
Showing that the creatives are moving downtown. Showing that there is a creative community that if it's not there right now, but there's a few other folks doing some creative things that I'm trying to say, hey, we can go downtown to do creative things. But for me, I've always since the beginning focused on guest experience for my show. I'm an interview style show, and so I'm always focused on how can I make the guest have a unique experience. 75% of the studio is not on camera, right?
Yeah.
It's a tight shot.
Right.
So it's not necessarily for the consumer of the show. It's for the guest of the show.
Okay.
And the type of guests that I have on the show are generally business leaders, business owners. And so if I can show them and bring them downtown, maybe it'll try to spark this trickle effect for them to think outside the box of what can they be doing downtown. Or maybe it'll say, I don't have my business down here, but I like what they have going on. Maybe I'll just come visit it a little bit more.
Because if you visit a little bit more, that leads to or adds to the level of collaboration. That adds to the number of people who are in the same place at the same time. It's why downtowns, it's why cities were invented in the first place. It's like you take the city of Athens. I mean, all things good flow through the boulevard.
Right.
That was the original quote. That's why people come together. It's whether you call it a downtown or a trading post.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
I mean, it goes back to conversations we've had in the past of why was Baton Rouge established as the capital, because we get stuff done, right? And so we were intended to get stuff done, right? Away from the New Orleans.
Baton Rouge is the capital because when it was New Orleans, everybody got drunk, and when it was Donaldsonville, nobody showed up.
Well, there you go. So it's just kind of being in the presence of downtown Baton Rouge and doing what I can to say we're still here. We still have a downtown. We need to do what we can and make it bigger and better.
Your show started on your back porch. Like
It really started on the kitchen table.
Well, when I did it, it was on the back porch.
Correct. During Lent, you didn't have
no,
wine.
no,
I
no,
know.
no.
I
You
know.
want to talk about guest experience?
I know.
Yeah, everybody else goes to the Patty G show. They have a couple of cold ones. I go to the Patty G show. He's like, I gave up drinking for Lent.
Yeah, but
Dude, that was like 4 years ago.
it was. That was back. That was pre-COVID.
It was during COVID, wasn't it?
Right at the cusp. Remember,
Yeah.
you got the text
Yeah.
saying, Brian, you need to come into the studio early.
Yeah.
We've got this thing.
Mhm.
We don't know what it is. We don't know what it's going to do. But you need to
Shutdown
come
was happening.
You need to come and talk about it.
Yep.
Yes, right at the cusp. Took the selfie on the back porch. I had a great time, but clearly.
I did as well. I did as well.
So now you got to come to the downtown. We have to shoot something else.
Okay, we could do that for sure. And then I'll treat you to Cecilia afterwards because I have a gift card.
Ooh,
How
I'm
about
liking
that?
where this is heading
How about
already.
All right, so the podcast moving downtown.
Yes.
Let's pivot the conversation to overall downtown and the reinvigoration, the reignition. Nope, don't want to quote R. Kelly.
Too late.
Yeah, sorry about that. Plan Baton Rouge Phase 3 is still underway.
Yes.
It's going to. My biggest problem with it right now is the waiting. It's tough to sit here and.
Well, we have like 12 months at least of waiting.
I know.
Before anything happens.
I know.
Like it's 12 months, and so in my hopes for that is within those 12 months they are not waiting. They're actively engaging community leaders, getting input, and putting together this plan. So in 12 months from now, we're presented with something that's very complete and robust.
That's the hard part for me, is something that's complete and robust. I don't mind things that are incomplete. I don't mind somebody saying, I have this idea. Hold off now. We're going to wrap your idea in with everybody else's idea, and then once we can do everything all at once, we'll do everything all. No. You have an idea. Run with it. Go with it.
But couldn't that ultimately lead to complications on the greater picture? Like if you have an idea for a parking lot downtown, you say, let's turn it into your Adventureland, right? And then that interferes with something else that was coming through the pipeline, and now you have to change and pivot where you're going to move it, where you're going to put it, and then your construction's already started. You're a little late now.
I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, to the victor goes the spoils, right?
I mean, I could see doing it in phases, but at least having a grand plan or an overall plan would be helpful in my eyes.
Yeah,
Instead of just taking one little block at a time.
I see where you're coming from, but at the same time, I don't like the idea of saying we will succeed 4 or 5 years from now.
It's a tough waiting game. Don't get me wrong, because I'm there every single day and seeing the things every day. You're like, man, 4 or 5 years is a long time from now.
Yeah.
Because to your point, there are simple, quick things that can be done to resolve some issues.
Which brings us around to, and I was kind of teeing this up to pivot the conversation over to small business, family-owned business. When you're talking like who is making the investments, not just in downtown, but wherever they are in Baton Rouge, who is making the investments, who's got the private equity, the sweat equity, the dollars, the manpower. You're talking about 1 million pieces or 500,000 pieces all moving at once.
Right.
What is the role of the individual business owner? What is the role of the family-owned business in contributing to something greater that would help make downtown where it's going, or mid-city, or Sherwood, or wherever?
So we've seen great economic boom downtown because of bowling. They're still there.
Oh, no.
And every day I see them, I'm like, this is impressive. At lunch, the streets are packed downtown for people go and get lunch. You've got, I think it's Aztec is a restaurant on the corner downtown that they said they were borderline deciding whether or not they want to close their doors. Then the bowling people showed up. Yeah. And then they said this has been one of the best summers, best slow season. So the local small businesses can interact with the different areas and say, what can we do during the slow season, the summertime? Bring stuff like the bowling to the River Center. What else can we do in the community or in the downtown area to incentivize people to come down and spend their money?
Yeah.
I mean, banding together in some form or fashion is going to happen. That collaboration has to happen.
Okay. So, but now let's bring it back around to the other part of the conversation, though, because now you're simultaneously saying we need to spur something along the way, and at the same time, that something has to wait for the rest of the plan to come through.
Well, I think spurring events along the way as opposed to spurring a building are kind of two different concepts there, right? Where how can we get some type of event like the bowling thing? How do we get something similar where we don't have to put a lot of infrastructure into place but use the existing to really still have that same impact? I mean, the numbers that I've seen are crazy for what the bowling tournament has done.
I know. Right, but the bowling's such a big scale thing.
It is. So how do we find other items like that and utilize existing infrastructure
to funnel money through to small business, to family-owned business? We got about 2 minutes till break, and then we'll continue on the back end of the break as well. I want to pivot this conversation over to the money and to the how to, those family-owned businesses and families in general can take better control of their wealth to help grow it. How do we get to that point?
You have to take the time to really look through what you've got and really sit there, and you have to learn the numbers of your own life, whether or not you're a numbers person. Like, you can't afford to not be a numbers person at this point. You got to figure it out. You got to read through it, and you have to know what's going in, what's going out, and where it's going.
All right, when we come back, we're going to pivot the conversation from there into turning that back into business. In the meanwhile, we got Your Money Now coming up 1 minute from right now, a little over a minute from right now. I do need to remind you about the folks over at Vex European. If you drive a European vehicle, a Mercedes, a BMW, Land Rover, if you drive an Audi, if you drive a Jaguar, if you're like Patrick Gremion, you drive a Lamborghini, Vex European is your answer. Hop on the website, vexeuropean.com. That's V as in Vinny. Vin and his team do a fantastic job. Yes, they do exotics as well. But with a European vehicle, you'll be paired with a master technician in your make of vehicle. When you purchase that vehicle, you want performance, but you also want longevity. That's what we're offering here. That's what Vex is offering here. That's what I take advantage of. That's why I was at Vex last Thursday, making sure I'm getting the most out of my European vehicle. You could do the same. Hit the drop-down tab at vexeuropean.com to get the list of makes of vehicles, then hit the appointments tab. Actually, you know what? No. Before you hit the appointments tab, hit the specials tab. See if we can't save you $100 on your first visit. Then hit the appointment tab over at vexeuropean.com. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back from that break, we're going to continue with Patrick Gremion, host of the Patty G Show, talking a little bit about private wealth and spending that into entrepreneurship. That is where we will pick up right after this. Here comes Your Money Now. Quick check of traffic on the back end right here on Talk 107.3 FM.
Throwing it out there, I drive a Lamborghini, Brian.
One of many. Do you not like people to know that? I mean, when you're not in the McLaren.
No, those are too flashy.
No, Vinny does exotics really, really well. So I'll sometimes when I'm doing the live read, I'll say, if you're Magnum PI, I need you to pay attention. If you're not Magnum PI, keep scrolling.
I guess they do have quite a few exotics here in BR.
Gordon McKernan has a couple of Ferraris.
Got a couple? I thought he just has the one.
Does he just have the one?
I thought he just has the one.
Oh.
I've seen somebody's got a McLaren. There's several Lamborghinis here in town. They actually have a dealership on Florida Boulevard selling a Lamborghini SUV.
No.
Yes. Saw it yesterday.
Where in Florida?
Before coming from downtown before Foster. It's on the right-hand side, heading towards Foster. Parked out on the big grass mound.
What? Everything in there is garbage. No, I'm serious. I've run the numbers on it before.
What do you mean?
I've run the numbers on. So I'm a huge believer that Florida Boulevard Corridor project is
Yeah.
the most important. It's more important than Plan Baton Rouge Phase 3, believe it or not.
Okay.
Because Florida Boulevard is the artery that goes from river to river. From the Amite to the Mississippi River, Florida Boulevard is the main artery. It is the jugular of Baton Rouge.
Okay.
So, in order for Baton Rouge to ultimately be successful, you've got to have more than just downtown be successful.
I
You
agree.
have to have
I
the
agree.
entire corridor be successful. Still have the numbers?
So you're wanting to pivot into family office stuff?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you want to, or do you want?
No,
to
that's
keep on the
that's
downtown
perfectly
stuff?
fine. No, you're good. You're good.
Damn it! Hey, here's a question for you. I hate when I take incomplete notes.
Uh-oh.
I had an idea for a bit, and I wrote it down, but I only wrote down part of it because the light turned green.
Okay. What's the bit?
It's just the premise. What if ICE did raids like restaurants do birthdays? That's just the premise. I didn't even write down a punchline.
You don't need a punchline.
But the thing is, like, I had like 7 or 8 punchlines, but the light turned green, so I kept going. And
So
then
what's the punchline?
I don't remember. I mean, I'm sure like a Sabrina Carpenter song came on. I started singing along and forgot everything. What if ICE did raids like restaurants do birthdays?
Yeah, but like that's just a good one line. That's like a Mitch Hedberg. Like,
Yeah.
you say that and just let it
Yeah.
breathe,
Yeah.
and then just that's it.
Come out with sparklers. Everybody's
Yeah.
happy. It's a celebration.
So everybody's gonna. Oddly enough, everyone's got a sombrero on.
Hold on,
One guy's got a guitar.
Happy deportation
Right.
to you.
Oh, man, that's freaking
So bad, bro.
Oh. It's what you don't get on the air. You only get that on Facebook Live. Shout out Lake Urgent Care for the sponsorship.
You got in a fight with ICE lately? Don't you worry. Like urgent care will help you get whole.
So basically, I got to write a birthday song.
You just read a birthday song?
If I wrote a birthday song about it, then that would be the ultimate for the bit. But sometimes an idea pop in my head, and I'll write down the premise. Ha. Okay. I found it. Florida Boulevard, from 110 to Central Thruway, O'Neill Lane. 21 different mechanics, and I don't mean big name mechanics. Like where you'd have like a box store style. 8 different tire shops, and I don't mean big name box store tire shops like
There's
Discount
8
Tire.
different tire shops on Florida between Acadian and Foster.
34 used car dealerships, and I don't mean as like the previously owned end of a major dealership.
Right.
And 5 pawn shops. I thought there were more pawn shops.
Why would you need pawn shops when you got all those other stores?
Do what?
So why would you need pawn shops when you got all those other stores?
I'm just saying, when you're looking at spur economic development,
Yeah.
a big ass stack of used tires doesn't really light my fire.
I see where you're
All
going.
right, when you're looking at spur economic development, having a pawn shop that like makes 3-block radius smell like weed is not really where I'm making my investment. That's why I say the Florida Boulevard corridor is important. 756 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP Mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Don't forget, you can always get the behind-the-scenes end of the show over on Facebook Live, courtesy of the folks over at Lake Urgent Care. They got a special little treat during the last break right there.
The treats are always there, Brian.
Yeah, I know. Hop on the Facebook Live feed. We got a little more going on. I want to pivot the conversation over to, what were we talking about? Oh, the family office.
Yes.
spinning that into entrepreneurship.
Yes.
Because it's one thing to be, to have the side hustle at your kitchen table.
Of course.
It's another thing for that side hustle to find an office space,
Right.
where you eventually move out of your kitchen. And now we're talking, small range, but now we're talking economic development.
Yes.
How do we get there?
How do we get there?
How do we take advantage of, make sure we're on top of.
So when you're looking at a business owner, specifically small business owners, generally going to be under the umbrella of a family-owned and operated establishment.
Yes.
Right? So within the family-owned and operated establishment, you have different members that either are a part or are not a part. Either way, the main owners, if they have children or grandchildren, they're going to want to establish some type of legacy. And if they don't have a legacy, they're going to want some type of plan for getting them out of the picture. They may not want to have the conversation up front, and oftentimes that's what delays it. They don't like to think about not being around. They don't like to think about not being involved in the business they built from the ground up, took from their kitchen to the office space. But inevitably, there will come a day in which they may not be fully running the day-to-day operations, so they have to have some type of plan. They have to have some type of, organizational chart of, here's the main two folks, and then here's the business itself. Here are all the key operators. Okay, if no one in the family is going to take it over, how are we still going to set our generations up for success and have them enjoy what we've built, the fruits of our labor?
Is this catching on? I mean, are we seeing more people pivot towards this?
We're seeing more people have conversations about it. I've got folks that I'm dealing with on a day-to-day basis that are coming in saying, I'm at a point in my life where I've got a good paying job. I'm a W-2 employee, and I just want to figure out if there's anything else that I can do. What else can I do to set my family up for success?
Yeah.
And so you're not seeing this massive, billionaires are doing X, Y, and Z. That's all happening. But it's now getting scaled down to, okay, you're making good money as a W-2 employee. What can we do with that to set your family up for success? Whether you've got maybe a side hustle, let's leverage that.
Well, I think the side hustle is more of what I'm talking about than
and estate planning.
The billionaires. We're not talking about an episode of Succession.
Right.
No, we're talking about a much smaller kitchen table scale here. If the planning is catching on, does that mean that the growth is to follow?
One would think. If you're planning to have success in the business and you're trying to figure out how do we pass this down, while you're doing that, you're still getting better and better at your business, and it's going to drive that economic development to cause more reason to have a great plan for what's going to happen for your kids and their kids.
He is Patrick Grimion, host of the Patty G Show, hops on with us about once a month. We try to get him in here, talk about a few randomness. It's more randomness,
bits, and just, all evolving around Baton Rouge and business.
Absolutely.
To some degree.
Absolutely. Hey, your 3rd and Laurel.
Yes.
If you walk out your front door and go to the right, what you'll find?
What will I find, Brian?
You'll find Mathern's Market.
To the left.
Oh, you're on the other side of the street?
I'm on the river side. Love Mathern's. Phenomenal establishment. Go there like at least 2 or 3 times a week to get groceries and bring it home.
And the
Quick,
salad bar is
in and out.
Yep.
Salad bar, the deli, the sandwiches.
You know where to find them. Downtown on 3rd Street, in the Nicholson Gateway Shopping Center by campus, or on Highland Road. It's Mathern's.
I didn't mean to take over your ad, but I frequent the downtown Mathern's.
So that used to be a bank.
Yes. The vault's right there when you walk in.
That's where the wine is. The wine vault.
I know. It's great.
It's awesome.
Their prices on Frank family wine blow me away.
Okay, we're going to go another level here. Do you have this yet?
What is that?
That's the Mathern's Rewards app.
No, I didn't know. What?
That's, what do I have? I have 19,000.
I thought it said 19 million. I was like, Brian, how often do you shop at Mathern's?
Well, I'm at the one on campus every time I work for LSU. I'll stop in and grab a sandwich and a drink. And it just slowly accumulates points. Now, you accumulate.
Why do I have Matt Mathern's phone number?
That's not the same Mathern. Okay. Tony Mathern is what you're looking for.
Who is Matt Mathern?
So you accumulate 10 points for every dollar you spend.
What does it equate to in reward?
I don't know.
Have you ever
I haven't spent them yet. I haven't spent them yet. I've got 19,000 points. That should give me a couple dollars off something.
Something. All right, good to know. I didn't know there was a Mathern's app. Because now that the studio's downtown, I've got to get stuff for the studio.
Okay, so
when we're not during Lent, we consume a lot of beverages.
I assume you don't subscribe to a newspaper.
No. I don't have cable. You
What?
think I subscribe to a newspaper?
The weekly ad pops up Wednesday morning. Every Wednesday morning, that's right there.
Is that the coupons?
Well, no,
Just
the
the- oh,
coupons.
that's
The
just the
coupons are in another spot.
No, there's a coup. There's a. Oh, that's just the
That's just the
deals.
specials,
the
yeah.
the online deals.
But
tab.
you find out what meat's on special every week for sure.
Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they're.
Like ribeye steaks are $15.99 a pound this week.
The only complaint I
Yeah.
have is
Here's some of the coupons.
Rocco's here.
It's over with. We're all done.
Here you go.
Oh, Jesus. Look, Big Easy Shrimp on special this week. The bottled water's on special every week. Well, hello there.
Oh, I'm voting for Jimmy because he's in the Dominican again, of course.
You did what?
Oh, Jimmy, wherever the hell he goes, Mexico all the time.
Does he?
Yeah,
I
Jimmy's
didn't-
always in Mexico. He's like, Bree, can you fill in for me? I'm like, of course.
I didn't know these things.
Yeah,
Okay.
He's always in Mexico with Robert Lucky and them. Tease him about it. Be like,
Robert
well,
Lucky from the Lucky Law Firm?
yes, Robert Lucky.
They're just traveling worldwide
I think so.
every week
Him and Michael, yeah,
because the insurance companies make all the money, not the lawyers. Right. Yeah.
of course.
Unreal.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Doing
I
good.
hope Rocco and save me a po' boy. I'm gonna come back tonight.
Okay.
Yeah, send me a little sliver.
We'll make sure. We'll make sure. Brittany, this is Patrick Remio.
Hi.
She works
Hey.
here and at the
Yes,
zoo.
I'm on Tiger. Yes.
Gosh.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
And I'll fill in for John when he doesn't feel like coming in. I'm joking. How you been?
I'm doing good.
Your
Doing well.
baby girl graduated, huh?
Rocco.
I know. I love me some Rocco.
My BFF.
Foodie Friday, y'all.
This is Patrick Remio,
Patrick Grimmie.
Here we go.
host of the Petty G Show.
Baton Rouge.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Hey, can I come on your show?
Awesome.
That's
Not
what I
yet.
was yes. No, this has to happen.
We need you
Come
to.
on. So they have a guest appreciation weekend this week. I will give one free.
You talking about
At
bowling?
the zoo.
Yeah.
Watch
Okay.
this
Yeah.
stroke, bro.
Go this
I
weekend.
might take advantage of that.
Yeah.
Are you leaving?
It's going to be chaos.
I mean, I gotta
You
do
slide it
this.
on over. You know, it's got to come over here anyway.
You gotta turn it down. Yeah.
Please.
I bet
I
you
got
gotta
stuff to
turn
do,
it
so
down.
keep going on. Keep going on. I gotta go.
We got to do this day in history.
All right, Breland. Later.
Bye, Brie.
Bye.
Dude,
No backswing. No
my
backswing.
uncle bowled 300 games. He used to bowl in the PBA tour.
My
My uncle. I used to
grandmother.
bowl at Sugar Bowl Lanes when I was 7.
I used to bowl at Paradise Lanes.
When
How
I
about
was
that?
7.
Paradise Lanes on Veterans Boulevard. It's a Barnes and Noble now.
Foot soldier. There can be only one.
The
Did you hear we're making the Dirty Sanchez today?
That's what you call it?
The Dirty Sanchez. I got Alondra coming up here.
No way.
no, you don't.
Just wait till I have in store for you, dude.
Oh, my gosh, dude.
Look, they usually come every month, and we kept getting messed up. Our daughters graduate. Last week, I'm at the beach, dude, and freaking the perfect storm. I felt like Mark Wahlberg driving a boat, dude. It was... I'm telling you. That thing came together like this, and I'm talking tornadoes. There was a band. You know, they got you put the thing up, and they got the line where you could see the powerful part of the storm.
Yeah.
Three or four tornadoes dropped, and blew everywhere we were.
Yeah.
Yeah. Saw a couple of dogs.
Oh, I made fun of you relentlessly.
That's fine. Where's the
Oh, there's no more microwave here. It's either up on the third floor or down on the first. This is what happens when you disappear for months on end. I'm like, is he in the witness protection program or what?
My wallet's gonna give you $100. You go buy a microwave, okay? I'll even pay for it. All right. Hey, can you get me 2 tickets to the Regis by any chance?
To the what?
That's the catch.
It's an NCAA event, not an SEC event, or not an LSU event.
So I called Gordon. He said you're out. No, not even. He said I know what you're calling for. You're out. I'm like I didn't even ask the question yet. He said you're out. I'm like.
I got you down for that concert this fall, though.
Yeah, these concert tickets from the North. Whatever you got, I'll pay.
No, it's the one at Chris Stapleton's coming to town at Lamar Dixon.
Oh, yeah, true, yeah. The Boots on the Bayou one?
Boots on the Bayou.
Yeah.
So when,
Yep.
when y'all having a bowl off?
Whenever he wants, I'll whip his ass. He don't know. He don't know. He thinks he knows. He thinks he knows. He don't know. He thinks he knows. It's coming. 806 Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldan, rolling right along. Hour 3, coming your way right now. Rocco's in the building. Later, Patrick. Rocco's in the building. He told me the name of the sandwich we're going to have, of the po' boy we're going to have.
Can we say that on it? I mean,
I'm going to let him say it on the air because technically there's nothing he says that's, it's not an FCC violation.
Right.
But it's questionable.
Oh, for sure.
It's going to be a hamburger po' boy with chili con queso, and chili con carne and queso on it. So, yeah. I don't plan on being productive after that.
Oh, my God.
That's going to be like put the head down on the desk and take a little nappy poo.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. We're not there yet, though. We still have to knock out this day in history. Before we do that, though, I tell you what, before we get Rocco in here, let me remind the folks about P.F. Chang's. I said, because there's going to be no segue there. Lunch plans, tell you about them every day. The chicken lettuce wraps, healthy option right there. Sesame beef. Oh, to get crispy beef is such a good thing. They've got you covered. You know where to find them. They're on Corporate Boulevard in Town Center.
Up here, please.
The intern worked yesterday, Rocco. I'm in the middle of a you're good. You're good. Corporate Boulevard, Town Center. Look for the giant golden horse. Look, you know what you're getting over there. You're getting Asian fare, but it's lighter, it's healthier, it's better ingredients, it's fresher ingredients, which brings out all the flavors. All right, time for this day in history. Let's roll. Back in time.
All right.
Yep.
1844. Young Men's Christian Association, known as the YMCA, is formed by George Williams in London today.
1844?
Yeah, man. Still going strong.
It took 130 years to write the song about it?
That's it. 1925, Walter Chrysler reorganizes the failing Maxwell Motor Company and founds automobile manufacturer Chrysler Corporation in Detroit, Michigan today. Today also, 1944, Operation Overlord, D-Day begins as the 156,000-strong Allied expeditionary force lands in Normandy, France during World War II. Today.
History quiz.
Okay.
History quiz.
Why
did Louisiana make D-Day a success?
Why?
The Higgins boat. D-Day's not a
That's
success.
true. Didn't it come out of
New Orleans? That's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's right. 1968, Senator Robert F. Kennedy dies from his wounds after he was shot the previous night. Of course, we discussed this yesterday.
Yes, we did. He knew that 11 years later the Village People would sing YMCA.
Yeah. He's like, just let me die. I don't want to live to see it. Anything else on this day?
Well, I mean, it pales in comparison to the invention of the YMCA and D-Day. But on this day in 1998, Sex and the City premiered.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of premieres, 1986, Storms of Life, the debut album by Randy Travis, debuts.
Okay.
Some music news
There you
there.
go.
2023, UK's Prince Harry is the first senior royal to testify in court in 130 years, accusing Mirror Group newspapers of hacking his emails.
Okay. Birthdays?
Pete Hegseth.
All right.
Got
Good
him
start.
as well.
Yep.
So let me just be fully transparent. Yesterday, I mentioned some birthdays.
You mentioned Paul Giamatti.
Because I was on the wrong.
Yeah.
I got lost in my days.
Yeah.
And apologize about that.
Understood. It's okay. Yeah, Paul Giamatti was leading off today for me.
Yep. And, of course, as mentioned yesterday, Robert Englund as well. Oh, man.
Freddy Krueger.
Yep. Of course, deaths today. Robert F. Kennedy.
Yes.
I'm sorry. You had more birthdays?
I did. I had two more. They're both
I'm
local,
sorry.
by the way.
Oh.
Former LSU Tiger, former Atlanta Falcon, and Kansas City Chief Tyson Jackson, born on this day in 1986. And born on this day in 1963, 1,000-yard rusher for the New Orleans Saints. I'm doing this off of memory. I believe he was number 36. Reuben Mays.
Oh, wow. Nice, man.
Yeah. And I don't have internet, so I don't have deaths.
Oh. Well,
I'm
Robert
glad-
F. Kennedy's the big one. And, of course, National Day today is D-Day.
It is D-Day.
So.
And there will be no other stupid peach cobbler day to, like,
No.
You don't dilute that, to be sure. It's 8:11 at Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Got to do this one off of memory as well since I don't have my internets. LandmarkBankLA.com. Talking to you about Landmark Bank real quick. Founded in 1897. When they were founded as a community bank. But over the course of 100-plus years, they've grown into a community bank. No, they've remained true to their mission this entire time. You're not going to find them in downtown Baton Rouge. You're not going to find them in midtown Manhattan. You're not going to find them anywhere but the surrounding areas. The communities that they serve are where they are. So if you're in Zachary, if you're in Denham, if you're in Brewley, if you're in Clinton, that's where you'll find Landmark Bank. If you need a full list of locations, check out landmarkbankla.com. And another thing, while you're on the website, you'll learn that you don't lack in service or any of the services that the big banks provide. You get those same level of services there with the personal touch that comes from a community bank. Don't just get a bank, get a banker. LandmarkBankLA.com. Quick break, come back. I believe Rocco's next. Do we have a Foodie Friday open? Okay. 8:15, Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. Normally, we don't hit up Foodie Friday until the next segment. But when Rocco's in the house, we lean towards doing this a little bit earlier because he needs some room to run. And right now, he's actually physically running. I don't know where he went. He just sprinted out of the studio. Like, we have all the makings here. We have all the makings here, but
pretty quick.
We have no Rocco. Oh, he's spry.
Yeah.
He's spry for a bigger guy.
Man.
Yeah. We reserved this segment to start it a little bit early. Tell you what, while we have a minute, while Rocco's somewhere, while we have a minute, let me remind you about the folks over at breck.org. And they've always got so many things going on at Breck. What I love about Breck is what so many people have a problem with about Breck is that they got to be all things to all people. No matter what it is that you're into recreationally, they've got you covered. If you play golf, they got a couple of golf courses. They got 2 9-hole golf courses. If you're a runner, maybe head on out to the Highland Road Park, hitting up that cross country out there. By the way, if you're out at that Highland Road Park, if you're one of those dudes that plays frisbee golf, they've got it out there as well. You got dog parks, you got playgrounds, you got swimming pools, you got splash pads, you got tennis, you got the pickleball, gymnasiums, everywhere you turn, you got hiking trails, nature trails.
They've got it all.
They do.
So I brought the girls there yesterday in Central.
To where?
In Central. To
Which
Jackson Community Park. It's a Breck park.
Is that the
Got a
one right by
splash
Tony
pad?
Spell's church?
It might be. It was it was our first time there.
Okay.
But yeah, Breck Park, man, it was awesome, man. The kids loved it.
See?
So cool.
Yeah.
So good.
But they got to be all things to all people.
Yeah.
So if you're not into pickleball, you're like, why does Breck spend so much time on pickleball? If you're not into frisbee golf, but if you are, they've got you covered.
Yeah.
You know, out at Highland Road Park on Saturday mornings in the fall, they got a whole rugby league going on. Rugby!
Oh, that's sweet. Yeah, that's cool.
Breck's got you covered. Check them out at breck.org. Oh, by the way, there is still availability for summer camps right now. Summer camps are going on. Registration for the summer camp started back in March. But look, I'm a parent. If you're a parent, you understand the summer can get away from you, right? There's a lot of logistics that go into the summertime. Where are the kids this week? Well, if you found a hole in your summer, maybe fill it with a Breck camp. Check them out at breck.org. LSU baseball coming up this weekend. We're going to have a full forecast in a little bit from Emma Kate Cowan. But as we've gone on, the possibility of rain keeps pushing back. I love this. If you had asked 2 days ago what the chance of rain was going to be for LSU baseball tomorrow, that was going to be a 40% chance of rain. Now, tomorrow's chance of rain is down to 20%. Sunday, 2 days ago, was a 50-50 chance of rain. Now that's down to a 35% chance. Monday's still looking bad, though. 60% chance of rain on Monday. So Cade Anderson and Anthony Ianson got to get this done. They got to get this done, and hopefully we get it in 2. Take it to West Virginia, and then take it up to Omaha. LSU baseball coming up this weekend with the the super regional. All right, I tell you what, do we just want to hit the open and hope that he walks in, or should I start another topic here? I don't know which way to go with this.
It's a little underwhelming, right? We're prepping, like we've been teasing this for 2 hours, and it's
I've been teasing it for 2 weeks from when he.
That's right. Yeah, that is
had
true.
to bail on us because he was stuck in a storm in Florida. And like now, where did he go?
Crickets, just silence.
All right. Tell you what, let's hit up one more news item. I know if I commit to a story, that's when he'll walk in.
Yeah.
You know, it's like if you wash your car, it's going to rain.
Yep.
If we start in on an actual topic, that's when he'll walk through the door and just run roughshod over everything. So let me send you back to the news cuts, if I could.
Yeah, of course.
All right. Let's talk about Maha real quick. I mean, before we have an unbelievably unhealthy po' boy, let's talk about Maha. Grab me if you could, please. 7, 8, and 9. You heard this from Louisiana Radio Network at in our news at the bottom of the hour last hour. You might hear it again this hour, depending on which newscast you heard. But there is a bill calling for a series of nutrition reforms. It's on the governor's desk. The bill is by State Senator Patrick McMath. He's out of Covington. We had him on to talk about this at the very beginning of the session. It unanimously passed both houses of the legislature. Think about that. Unanimously passed both houses of the legislature. Within the bill, the Maha bill, Make America Healthy Again, within the bill, it includes banning certain artificial colors and additives in meals that are served in schools and forcing food companies to put QR codes on packaging if their products contain certain artificial ingredients. Senator McMath says they're part of the nationwide Maha movement as well.
Giving President Trump and Secretary Kennedy the leverage that they need to bring the food manufacturers to the table to get them to change their ingredients.
So that's on the national scale. And for a lot of this, it's going to be a national story. What's going to be interesting to follow is what we could get done on a local level along the way. Now, restaurants and other food businesses which use seed oils in their cooking are going to have to clearly indicate that. McMath says certain medical professionals are going to be required to take a 1-hour course on nutrition and metabolic health as well every 2 years.
Given how important it is for the things that we put in our body, how that plays out with our metabolic health and our overall health, and how it relates to chronic illness, chronic disease. You would think that doctors would have a solid base of education on nutrition, and they simply don't.
A lot of them have a lot more than we would give them credit for. I mean, and I can't speak for everyone. There's nothing to be a blanket everything. But a lot of them have a lot more than we give credit for. One more from McMath before we open up everything for Rocco, who is now leaving again. And talking about himself in the third person. One thing that didn't make it into the final bill was banning the use of SNAP benefits to purchase soft drinks. McMath says that's because Governor Landry made this issue moot.
After the bill got out of the Health and Welfare Committee, the following day, the governor issued an executive order prohibiting
We're
the purchase
on the air.
of
We've been on the
soda
air.
and
He's very
candy.
upset right now. You have made Todd. Todd does not come out to around.
Who's Todd?
Todd. The month of I'm a Gemini. So there's Troy and Todd.
Give me 15.
No.
Give me 15
I'm not
seconds.
giving you any more. You got to be running up and down the stairs for a microwave over here.
It's time for Foodie Friday. Don't walk away again.
Dude, I'm about to flex up on you, dude.
Huh?
Here, I'm about to flex up on you. Great. I mean, orange, that's all they had. The wife don't like him. So she leaves him for me.
All right, now we welcome in.
First of all, let me
First
just
of
tell
all,
you. I don't know who comes in here, if they've been in studio recently, but they redid the little nook over here, the kitchenette thing.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
It's gorgeous.
Oh, man. Butcher block counters. They got the freaking shiplap on the wall. It was fantastic.
It's gorgeous.
A little freaking refrigerator. No microwave.
I know.
I'm going to give you $100. Go buy a darn microwave. You cannot expect somebody of my culinary capabilities to continue to come here and have it a scale flights of steps. Just think if I was fat like I used to be. I'd have had a heart attack by now. And to top it off, the morning starts horrifically when I went to go get y'all donuts at the 24-hour Krispy Kreme. And I was pulling out and had a young lady standing there, and it was dark. I asked her if she needed a ride.
Yeah.
Because I'm a kind and compassionate person. You know this, Haldane.
Oh, this is good. Orange kiss.
2 blocks later in front of Tony's, I get pulled over by sheriff.
Yeah.
What you doing with that lady? I'm giving her a ride to her house, officer. I mean, she's 5:30 in the morning. She's out here at night. I'm trying to help her out. Yeah.
End of shift.
Okay. So you know where that went.
Yeah.
So I'm groveling in the middle of the road. I'm like, dude, do you know who you're dealing with here? This is the foot soldier. Troy David Morrow, a.k.a. Rocco of Po' Boy.
Rocco of Po' Boy.
That is correct. I am the king, self-appointed Po' Boys. And
the minister of meat.
The minister of meat.
The rabbi of roast beef.
The pastor of Po' Boys.
That's right.
The pastor of Po' Boys.
I like rabbi of roast beef.
So I was going to make you an Italian sausage sandwich today made with beef and pork and veal.
Okay.
Smothered in underwear. Anyway, but I've been trying to get here for 60 days, I think. Something always comes up.
I know.
Yeah, en la semana pasada, me salimos con mi familia y tomo en el sol. Bebe mucho cerveza. Estoy muy guapo. Entonces, a una tormenta. Mucho lluvia y viento también.
Was any of
Tornado.
Was any of that a profanity?
Yes. No, it wasn't, man.
Okay.
You know what came through
I
here?
don't speak Spanish.
You know what came through here on Thursday, hit us on Friday in Destin, bro, and it slapped us upside the head. I told you. I couldn't drive back, man. We waited till 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
I know. The plan was to have you in the Friday after Memorial Day because we've run into in years past trying to get you in the Friday before Memorial Day
that works out.
to set the table for the long weekend.
That works.
But no, you always bail. So I said, let's step ahead of the game.
Works.
I know.
That's never intentionally. I fly by the seat of my pants. I'm a busy man. I'm constantly going. You know why I'm going all the time handling that? You know why I never stop talking?
What?
What does the devil like the most?
What does the devil like the most?
An idle mind. I don't let him time to meddle in mine. Okay. He don't get it. He don't get a second. So I keep burning the candle at the midnight hour, or whatever it is. How you say that? I keep going.
I don't think that's about being quiet, though, Rob.
Bro, look. I've been trying to get the man Reese, if I can't tell you how long. The Holy Spirit said it's finally my time. I think I can be quiet for 3.5 days. You want to make some wagers on it?
I do not. Yes.
The action's right now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
they
do.
get the action.
What kind of odds am I getting
A
on
7
that?
to 1 right now.
7 to 1?
Yeah, 7. Perfect number.
Hey, oh.
But I digress. Since I couldn't make here, which May is the month of our Blessed Mother, the month of Mary.
Yeah.
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 And that's another reason why. But it's all Cinco de Mayo. And so in honor of Cinco de Mayo, because I couldn't get here when I was supposed to be here, which I got, sidetracked because of the storm, which wasn't my fault.
I didn't say it
but
was
I
your
have
fault.
I have to be honest with you. I'm kind of glad it happened because I got another day on the beach.
Yeah.
And I go out there by myself, Serenity Night. Serenity Night.
Hang on now. Hang on.
Serenity Night.
How is it that the weather is too bad for you to drive, but nice enough for you to lay
That
on the beach?
afternoon, brother, when I texted you at 4 p.m.,
Yeah.
I am not kidding you. This is the God's honest truth. I went on the beach by myself.
Okay.
And I'm out there, and the sun it was still overcast, but I knew because the forecast said that it was going to clear up late in the afternoon, 4 or 5 o'clock. So, if you're at the beach, 8.
But that's the best time, though.
Oh, dude, it was windy. It was beautiful.
The breeze is blowing. Nobody else is out there. The sand is all patted down from the rain.
Yep. Easy walk on, easy walk off. And that's a good point because I have a bad back, and they laugh at me because I wear my deck shoes when I walk on the beach.
You don't.
Well, not on the beach, just to get to where we're going. You'd be amazed. I don't wear the little small, flatty, fruity tooty shoes. Excuse my expression. Yeah, I wear the big ones, the ankle ones. And, dude.
Excuse my expression on that. Wait till we get to the sandwich.
Well, I mean, look, I don't want to get you in any trouble with the FCC and, Celestials and all that other alien stuff that you're going on.
That ship has sailed.
I mean, you already told us the story about you getting abducted in an anal probe, so we won't even go there. But my point was going to be, I'm out there by myself, brother. I got the shirt off because, dude, I don't know if you notice again. I'm looking so good right now, and I don't mind telling you. It's hard to be humble when you're greater. Maybe I'm a narcissist. Anyway, my point being, I'm out there signing autographs, dude. Polaroids. I got Rocco out there snapping pictures. I saved you an 8x10 glossy, like I told you, so you can frame it and put it in your house.
I'm going to put it right next to the picture of Miss Louisiana
and
right there.
I have something for you to sign, and I'll get into that later because I know I got something I got to sign for you, too. But
I didn't bring it today.
Yeah, see, I don't forget. I never forget, bro. That's one thing about me. I'm like a rhinoceros. I got a great memory. And so, it's elephant.
Elephant, right? Yeah.
Okay, so you get the point. Down with my vernacular and my lexicon, bro. Get with the program. Yep. Bro, I see a stick on the ground, piece of bamboo. Walk over to it, man. I'm looking at it. And there's a couple of people, family. Nobody's watching me. I take it off. I had to run this lady off because she asked for another one. I said, look, I gave you one, 2 for $20. That's it. I can't give you any more. I break them up, make 3 crosses, put it in the sand. And I am on my knee, brother. And God can strike me dead if I am lying. I'm waiting. Take me. I'm ready. Back it up. Okay, fair enough. Dude, as soon as I did it, the sun came out. And I'm not making that up. And I took a picture, and I'm going to show you on my phone, of the crosses.
Yeah.
On the beach.
Yeah.
And you could see the sun illuminating. And then my shadow, dude. Is your shadow bigger than what you actually are?
No. Well, it depends on the angle.
I don't know, dude. I look pretty big in the shadow. I hope I'm really not this big. Did I tell you I broke my leg one time? My leg one time at Brown Gravy Cape Horn. And when I went on my diet, I lost 20 pounds. Nobody even said, hey, you look good. You look like you lost a pound. Then I'm walking my dog Lulu. A stray dog comes down the street, sees my shadow, walks in it, dies on the spot.
I got to jump in right there. Good news, traffic, weather. Rocco continues next.
I love weather. And that's
just play her weather. I'm not. Okay. Yeah. You want to do? Do you want to do the weather with me? I'll do it. I just.
If you don't want to do it, you do.
There's nothing going on. If there was,
I follow you.
If there was something going on,
I am the Lord defender and protector of the ministry.
I can't believe
defender of the faith.
I can't believe I forgot the rosary this morning.
You're supposed to bring the thing I was supposed to sign from Acts.
Yeah, it's a framed rosary.
I didn't see it.
I know.
So I don't know.
I know.
Never got a chance.
And then I got to find.
So let me tell you what I have.
Yeah. Oh.
Acts 12. Who's my favorite saint? If you don't know this, I'm going to hit you with this upside the head. You know who my favorite saint is?
It's got to be St. Michael the
Yes,
Archangel.
you were there, boy. Hey,
I was
you
not
know.
at Acts 12.
No, but you were at 7.
No, I was not.
I'm sorry, 6. And
Yes.
I got up in front of everybody and made everybody say it. You don't remember that?
I
I walked up there and that was our saint. And I said, this is, and Trey knows this. And who else was there? And you. I said, you. You. We said it before basketball sometimes, man. And
What,
the
the
girls
St.
were like,
Michael's
what
prayer?
is that prayer? Yeah.
The same, yeah.
We made them learn
You
it.
got
You
mad
remember
at me
that?
because when I was director, I said when we're doing the rosary, we're not doing the extra credit prayers.
I was not happy about that.
No.
St. Michael, he's standing right next to Jesus and Mary. You know he's twice the size of Jesus standing next to him. That's how big he is. Yeah.
It's probably a shadow.
And I don't know if you know the prayer. I don't know if religious denomination you are. But there's a part at the end. That's okay. You believe in Christ as your Savior?
Of course.
You're on your road.
Yeah.
You know, so that's all I'm going to say. You do you, I do me. But I'll tell you, the Catholic faith is the only one. Over 45,000 religions. Our doctrines never changed since inception. And I never heard of anybody going in the Baptist church and trying to steal their Eucharist. Just saying.
We don't have Eucharist.
That's my point.
Yeah,
The Methodists do, I think.
It's grape juice, yeah.
Okay.
It's Welch's.
And I'm just saying. I'm not saying that, look, even I got friends that are Muslim, whatever, dude.
Right.
I prayed in that
Same
mosque
here.
before when their son died,
Yeah.
one of my buddies. And they didn't care.
Yeah.
You're in a house of worship, bro. You're on holy ground. It was like freaking that movie. It's a great movie. Come on, help me, Haldane. I just did the thing. There could be only one. What's the name of the movie?
Highlander?
The Highlander. Have you ever?
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Not on holy ground. And, dude, they respected it. And I'm telling you, before I left, I know all these guys. I met them in college. I used to bartend. Now they all own their own restaurants. They all started working for Syrup's. And actually, the Syrup family, as you know, they're actually Christian. They're Catholic. They're Greek Orthodox Catholic. So they falls under the enclave of the Catholic Church.
Right.
But they have their own bishops. I don't know. It's real crazy. And it's kind of like the St. Charbellian sect or church. What is it? The Charbel Church that Father Alex is the pastor of? St. Charbel?
Yeah, no. What's the name of that? We went to a mass in Austin, Texas on our way to San Antonio. We went to a mass at this church. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
And a lot more was sung. It was so much more. It was actually more joyful than a Catholic mass. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Well,
and now I'm not going to remember the name of it.
when I went to the mass at the Armenian church, they spoke in 3 different languages. I mean, you knew what was going on because the procession in the mass was basically the same, But, I never thought about what I just told you. When I never really ever left the Catholic faith. I believe everybody's born into a religion because that's the one you were supposed to be born into. And then it's up to you to determine whether or not that's the one you stay with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I believe I was born Catholic. So I kind of just stopped going to mass and what have you and stuff like that. And, then
Right.
I think everybody walks their own journey of faith. And there was some stuff that happened that
For sure.
we always say in our ministry, nothing's coincidental.
Yeah.
JP, nothing.
Oh,
bro.
nothing. No, absolutely.
And I tell you,
Sovereign providence, man.
Until I opened my eyes, and it was on Acts 7, where I remember praying, and I closed my eyes, and I felt him for the first time truly in me. Like, really, felt he was in me, dude. And I was like, bro, where you been? And his response to me was, dude, I've always been here.
Yeah.
Where you been?
Maronite Mass.
Maronite, that's it.
Shout out to Christy.
Christy, look at her. What a theology. Oh, tell her I met Miss Gianfala. They call her Cookie. Mary Magdalene Gianfala. Todd Gianfala's mother. I'm walking today, and I know where she lives in a neighborhood.
She's listening.
And so I live in a neighborhood, Christy, and I start talking to her, and immediately she goes, you from New Orleans? I say, you're from New Orleans. And she goes, she's walking a little French bulldog or whatever it is, taking a crap, and I'm talking to her. And she goes, yeah. She goes, yeah, you from New Orleans. She goes, but you from Chalmette, huh? Right. I said, well, where'd you go to high school?
Uh-huh.
Ursuline.
Okay.
She's a lion.
There you go.
Or a gopher or whatever.
They're lions.
Don't they have 2 like St. Joseph?
No, they roll through. St. Joseph says 4, but St. Joseph's is the red stickers, but like our daughters were dolphins.
What?
St. Joseph's mascot is the
No,
red
I'm talking about the Ursulines.
They're the lions.
Are you sure?
The whole school is the lions, but the individual
Look at her,
classes-
my girl. I love you, little meatball. She's got a heart of a lion. My second favorite man. My first one's Rich Kikana. No, I digress. But yeah, man. So I met her, and what a great experience, man. But what I was going to finish telling you, man, is bro, when I opened my eyes and I started, because I was always going to adoration and mass and all that stuff. I was already on my journey, and Acts was like the pinnacle of my faith journey. And that's what I told the director when I barely even knew the guy. I mean, Brian could tell you. I mean, I knew him. We had kids the same age, and now he's one of my closest confidants, just like his cousin Brad. And I find out his mother's great-grandmother's last name is Morrow, the same as mine. I think we may be related. I mean, it's just crazy stuff like that's happening. And I open my eyes, bro, and I see him everywhere in names and, more importantly, numbers.
No.
Numbers.
No.
How old are you?
36.
What's 3 plus 6?
Come on.
Just listen to me.
9.
What's 36 minus 9?
What is 36 minus 9? 28?
You're 27.
27.
What's 7 and 2? 9.
Where are we going at? It's 9.
Three
but where are we
threes,
going?
baby.
Where are we going at? Where are we
I'm
going with
54.
this?
5 plus 4 is 9. What's 54 minus 9? 45. 4 and 5 is 9. 3 threes again.
Everything
I'll
times
get you.
9.
That's-
Everything
Yo,
times
don't even. No, you can't do it.
0
Don't
and
do it.
9, 1
Don't
and
do
8,
it.
2 and 7, 3 and 6, 4 and
Oh,
5.
it's a coincidence, huh? Yeah.
It's a party trick, and I find it
It's
demeaning.
a party trick. Yeah, you find it demeaning. Okay. Let me ask you a question. What month did we just leave? Not Cinco de Mayo, the month of what?
May.
The month of Mary.
Yeah.
What's the 13th letter of the alphabet?
You might be going
Hold on. What is it?
The 13th M? I don't know. Okay.
And we're in the month of Mary.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're going on Acts 13. It's a coincidence.
You going on Acts 13 in the month of May?
No.
The month of Mary?
No, 13's coming up.
Okay, so
We're on Acts
next
13.
year, this conversation is not going to matter because we go.
No, the day will be different.
No, but
The date will be different.
No, I understand that.
There's only 30 days in the month of May next year.
No, there's not.
Did you know that the Gospel of John was written? Are we on there? I mean, I know we're on Facebook.
We're on Facebook, but we're waiting to get back on air because the bumper's going.
I love it, dude. Look at it.
No, 8:38. Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. You know, I promised the Facebook audience something behind the scenes, and sometimes it doesn't always work out. And I'm not mad. It's Foodie Friday, presented by the Louisiana Beef Industry Council. We got beef.
baby.
Let's talk about
Yes,
beef. Let's talk
brother.
about what we're making today.
Brother Haldane.
Yes, sir.
Let me just tell you, baby. So in honor of Cinco de Mayo, yo hablo español muy bueno, okay?
Yes.
Entonces, yo tengo la persona en mi restaurante trabaja para mí y cocina bueno. Ella es Honduran, okay? Y la comida, ella prepara, está muy bueno. Entonces, so today I got a girl that works for me. She's Spanish.
Okay, can she come translate
And
everything
she
you just said?
made me some chili con carne.
Okay, I like that.
Chili con carne.
I like where we're going.
So we got you some beef, little hamburger po' boy we're going to do. And I was going to do this when we came because it was the month of May.
Right.
You know, and everything that goes along with it. And so in honor
The microphone doesn't follow you. You left the studio again.
He's still talking. He's out of the studio, people, and he's still talking.
the Mexican music.
Okay.
So you will now refer to me
Okay.
as Pepe the rest of the segment because this is my Latino field hat. When I go pick strawberries and watermelons, or if you pass by Sean Drive, where I live, I won't tell you the exact address, but come on by. Wave to me. I'll be out there picking up sticks, leaves. I just do that. I tinker. I'm a tinkerer.
Okay.
Maybe if you come by, maybe we'll wrestle. You know, we'll wrestle after I pick up sticks in the front lawn. I'll wrestle. You want to wrestle?
I have no idea.
And you know, that's what I do. My wife she's like, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm just out here picking up sticks and stuff and just staying." And she goes, "Oh, you come here?" She don't understand. That's where I go to get away from her. Don't tell her that. She
I
may do
won't.
this.
I won't.
But no, all truth be aside, I like it. I've always
The
liked
hat?
it. The hat is muy bueno.
A hat is, yeah.
Bro, I paid $8 for this hat from a dude in the Home Depot parking lot.
Okay.
He wanted 10. I said, I got 8. He said, I'd take Venmo. I said, man, get the hell out of here. Here's $8. Get out of here. So, we go in Spanish. We're going to make you today with the chili con carne and the beef. What kind of beef we use? We talked about this. You should know the ratio. What's the deal with it?
Are you a 73-27?
No, man. Actually, I'm like a 54, about a 38 right now.
I meant the percentage of fat in the beef.
I mean, I try to claim 5'11".
I thought
and I got the Dairy Queen shoes on, which, by the way, dude, thank you for telling me to buy these. I go buy them. I'm walking into Mass one day at St. Aloysius, and I'm late. Father Lello's up there. The girl's doing the first reading. And they got the cobblestone freaking bricks, and they just glazed them and waxed them, dude. So, of course, these shoes squeak.
Yeah.
And I'm walking down the center aisle, and I go to Gelaflex. And as I do it and come up, Father Lello's just kind of looking at me. And I don't care, dude. I sit, you know me, I sit in the same place every time. At every church I go to, I got a spot, and that's my spot. And if you're in it, I'm going to sit next to you. And if at the corner, I'm going to kind of make you scoot over a little bit. So I got to sit here. I got incontinence issues, so I might have to peel out. And so anyway, after Mass, you know, the priest stands outside greeting everybody. Hey, how you doing? He sees me coming. You know, Father Lello, dude. Cool dude. Love him.
Great homilist.
He's like, oh, he's in fuego, dude. And he's like, Rocco, good to see you. He goes, hey, do me a favor. And I had completely forgotten about the squeaking shoes.
Yeah.
He goes, next time you come to Mass over here, I know you're a mercy guy. And, you know, Tuesday they don't have Mass there, so I'll go to Mass there in the morning. He goes, don't wear those shoes. So he heard me squeaking up the aisle, man. And he told me I don't have to wear the shoes anymore. And I'm not, dude. I'm telling you, the hocus, dude, the hookahs, or whatever they call, do your own due diligence, bro, and check both those shoes out. If you got a pair of each of them, wear one and walk around in it, and then wear the other.
For what? The hocus versus...
The hocus are just way better. They just, it's a better
versus
shoe.
What?
It's got a bigger toe box than these Dairy Queen shoes, man. And, you know, I got them for my kids for Christmas, so I can't say I don't like them. But I don't like them. But I love you, kids. Thank you. It doesn't matter. They didn't pay for them anyway. I'm sure my mom, their mother bought them. You know what I mean? Hey, what are you going to do? That's how it is. So anyway, to finish it off, we got the queso cheese.
Stop. The kind of beef is what?
I'm not going to tell you because I've been on here way too much.
I said 80-20 last time. You bit my head off.
70-30, man.
70-30.
And you should know why. And I'm not going to say anything. And the listeners out there that are out here that listen to the show know the deal, bro. So I'm communicating with you intellectually. And so with that being said, but you're absolutely right. And so you know the deal. So what
you want more fat. Fat is flavor.
Yeah, it's like a ribeye, man.
Yes.
Now you ribeye filet. What you got?
What,
a
ribeye.
Me too.
Yeah.
My kids will not eat a ribeye.
Christy goes filet.
Women do not like the fat. I don't know why it is. No, they don't like the fat.
No.
And so with that, I also brought 3 different types of cheeses. I got queso, pepper jack, and cheddar. Mm-hmm. Why 3?
You going to go back to the numerology thing again?
No, it's not numerology. Everything in our faith happens in 3s. You got to be having 3 things to become Catholic. What are they? You don't know them?
Do what?
You have to have 3 things to be confirmed Catholic. What are they?
What, with the sacraments? There's 7 sacraments.
I'm talking about the main 3.
Oh, the baptism, the reconciliation.
So now you going to play games with me?
What?
Like you going in a diaconate or something? No. Like you're a theology? You know what I'm talking. You know where I'm going with this.
I don't know where you're going with this. I thought I knew where you're going
3.
with this.
Number 3. 1, 2, 3. What else you got? 3? The Trinity.
Yeah.
What else you got? You know when a Pope...
So you got 3 kinds of cheeses?
You know when a Pope is buried, they bury him in 3 coffins? Did you know that? Yeah. They bury the Pope in 3 coffins.
How do they do that?
I don't know, but they do. You ask.
I legitimately don't know if you're messing
Brad
with me right
Klein,
now.
ask Chip Klein, ask Billy Klein, ask who was there.
Anybody who's not named Klein?
No, those 3 were there when we talked about it. Louis D was there. Deaton Trahan, he was there. Mitch Kimball was there. It was right after Mass when the Pope died. And Chip had done some research on it. And then I looked at some stuff, but I knew this. What's the Pope's ring called?
What? I don't know.
The ring he wears is a fisherman of men ring. That's what he makes. And when he dies, they break it in 3 pieces. Why? So his stamp cannot be duplicated. And he's buried with 3 bags of coins, silver, copper, and gold. Don't play with me.
Oh, okay. No.
With me.
Let's.
Don't play with me. You got to get up early. Es muy importante. Levante temprano. Entonces, correr con un jefe grande. Estoy muy inteligente también.
It's a
Me
three-layered.
encanta iglesia mucho.
It's a three-layered coffin. It's not buried in three. They
You
don't
know what
chop
I'm
them up.
talking about,
No,
bro.
I do now.
Don't
'cause I
play on
looked it up.
words. All right, make something of the 3 bags of coins then. What you got there?
What?
Breaking his ring. When the Pope dies, you know what they do on his deathbed?
What?
What the Commander Canuli Consarier does, whatever his name is. You know what I'm talking about.
I don't.
The guy that's in charge when the Pope dies. He's got a specific name. He's like the Cardinal Consignally something or another.
You're gonna make me forget. I would know. If you
Anyway,
weren't asking
when
for
he
it.
dies and he has no heartbeat, this guy goes over to him and whispers his baptism name in his ear 3 times.
Okay.
We are the Knights of Excalibur, Battalion 33
You were all over the map today.
of the Army of God. But I'm ready to make this po' boy. I'm on.
Was Camerlingo the word you were thinking of?
I think you're correct.
Yeah.
You see, you're such a he's a very smart man and funny.
No, but you're coming
Funny.
in from 30 different
I
directions.
got to
can't
give
narrow
you
it
a
down.
compliment. I got to give you a compliment.
What did I do that
I
was
told
funny?
you at the fair. Roman tells me. So my son Roman came. The Prince of Po' Boys was at the Mercy Fair.
Yeah.
And we were late that Saturday night. We was young. We was having fun. Let's just say.
Yeah.
Anyway, and I went to go get us some drinks.
Mm-hmm.
And he was talking to you.
Yeah.
And then like when I went to get him because I think we were leaving, he's like, dude, that dude is hilarious. I said, wait a minute, who are you talking to? He said, Brian Haldane. I said, wait a minute. Wait, the Brian Haldane, that dude? Yeah, he's hilarious. So I don't know what shtick you put on him that night.
I don't know.
I thought it was.
I don't know.
Too much tequila, dude. You was everybody was.
See,
had fun.
nobody. See, News Talk gets this rap that it's.
No.
News Talk gets this reputation. It's all like curmudgeonly and angry all the time. I've never been an angry person my entire life. I've always been the funny one.
No, never angry, but you know, because it is News Talk, you can't do everything that Moscona can do to compare you to him and even Condon him. I mean, you have a serious side that you have to be very serious
I understand
about.
that. It's a line
And
to
so,
walk because there are serious
It's very hard
topics.
to teeter.
But
it's very hard.
You know
get
what?
it.
This is so great. Moon Griffon and
That's
I
why
had
I'd
this
be so good in
conversation.
radio, by the way. Hire me, Gordy.
that's-
Or 2 tickets to the regionals, please, which he won't give me. Told me no flat off the bat. I mean, I'm flat off the bat. Hey, Gordy, I know why you're calling. I don't have any. I said, I'm doing Haldane's show Friday, dude. The Nielsen rating is going to be up 120%, man. They're going to buy advertisement and everything. I'm wearing a hat, knocking pitches over.
That's a
Anyway, we got to go to break.
Yeah.
All right, I see you signaling.
No, it's no, I didn't.
Foodie.
My hands are literally
Signal.
down.
All right, I'm going to jump on the Po' Boys. Talk us out. Talk amongst yourselves. I'll be
Foodie
right
Friday
over here.
is presented by the
My
Louisiana.
name is Pepe, and I'll be making you the Dirty Sanchez Po' Boy.
That is it's so offensive so fast. Brought to you- I don't even want to say the sponsor's name now.
Let's go.
We got to get some distance between the sponsors. By the way, did you know that beef provides not only protein and iron, but 10 vitamins and nutrients that are fuel for your body at all times, all stages of life as well. BeefIt'sWhat'sForDinner.com if you want to learn more. BeefIt'sWhat'sForDinner.com. We are going. There's beef in the chili con carne. That would be the word carne, wouldn't it not?
Señor, tú eres muy inteligente también.
On the air, here comes Your Money Now on Facebook Live.
Yo
This
pienso.
is going to somehow continue.
Pero yo no sé. Porque habla español muy bueno. Entonces, I don't know.
Michelle wants one with queso, no carne, no chili.
What, Michelle?
Southern.
Tell us she can either have prize. It's like the Price is Right. No.
She's watching on Facebook.
What's
by
that
the
thing?
way.
Not the Price is Right. The other. Let's make a deal. Tell her she can have door number 1 because the little sweetheart, no, because she got involved with the tickets to the concert for the kids and all that.
Yeah.
I know you helped and she was a part of it. And I thank her so much. She's so sweet. I got a little something else. So she can either have door number A, which would be this, or door number B, which would be something else. She a betting girl? She's a dice roller? She likes to gamble? You ever see her in a casino? Because if you do, she's taking B. If she's conservative, she's going to be taking A. Because she's going to say, well, at least I know I got that. And I got to save one.
Bird in the hand, huh?
I got to save one for my girl on the country state. You know, I love my country.
What, Brie Lynn?
You know, I love my country.
Yeah, I know.
You know.
Freeland's in today.
She's an Indian outlaw, half Cherokee and Choctaw. My baby was a Chippewa. She's one of a kind. Do you know I speak Cherokee too now?
No, you don't.
I do.
You don't.
You want?
Go for it.
Shemani tutaka owaji.
The hell does that mean?
Titak uwanawe. Titak uwanawe. Titak uwanawe.
You could be making this up.
I am not making it up. Get a translator, put it on Google Translator.
You could be speaking
anybody that knows Cherokee, Sioux, please call and verify that these are correct.
Sioux meaning the
I
Indians
am
or Sioux meaning a woman
the
named
language,
Sue?
man. The native language that they spoke in Dances with Wolves. That's what that means. Shumeni tuta. I am Dances with Wolves, dude. That's who I am. I'm reckless, bro. I'm by myself. The wolves will always chase me.
I'm giving up on
the devil's
trying.
always chasing me. I meet him at the foot of the cross, baby. Every day. I'm there. One-on-one.
We're going to make this po' boy on the way back in?
Absolutely,
Okay.
brother. We're going to make several. So which one do you want me to add jalapenos on yours? Because I'm not putting tomatoes. And when we go on air, I'm explaining why we're not going to put
We're only
certain
going to have
things.
4 minutes left when we go back
I
on
can
air.
whip it quick.
Okay. I'm supposed to be trying it right now so I can review it when we come back in. Make mine. Do it up. Do it up. The jalapenos, everything.
I know this. I'm just gonna say, from a producer standpoint, this. I don't know. I think we have the most people we've had in a while in the 8 o'clock hour. So thanks for everybody watching, whether YouTube, Facebook.
I had to close out
Thanks
the
for sticking
Facebook
around.
because I don't have internet on my laptop, so I needed internet on my phone.
Yeah, but I'm just saying we've sustained pretty good, a good viewership for this hour. Usually, kind of tapers off in the 8 o'clock hour, but.
Well, as people get to work, as they get to work and get working and whatnot, I understand that.
Yeah, no, and that's understandable. I'm just saying that
it's no. Will you listen? Yes, that's exactly what John is. John is saying the numbers are up because you're here. The numbers are up because you're here. Normally, the numbers dip down in the 8 o'clock hour because people get to work. But when Rocco's in the house, people dial in. People pay attention.
People are watching from their cubicles.
Yes.
They're like, hey, you know
Jalapenos.
what? Spend an extra time in the restaurant.
Oh, my God. Do you smell that hamburger?
I do.
Whatever you're putting on it.
You got jalapenos in that mix?
What are my choices?
Smell jalapeno, a little bit of, yeah.
Let's go, Kate. Let's do the queso. Let me take this picture before you even close it.
Matt says, get a couple beers in these two, and you're either looking for a fight or your stomach will hurt from laughing so hard.
No, we just go in for skip the beer, go right to tequila.
Yeah. There we go. Especially if there's wrestling going on. I'll be there to film it. For social media purposes. Live from Rocco's yard. Indian wrestling.
Well, we're going to get a microwave. They moved the microwave up to 3. I understand. There's more people working on 3, so they moved the microwave up to 3. That's. We're back from break. No, we'll show off the second one. Let me bite into the first one so I can review the flavors. It doesn't have to be pretty. I'm the one eating it. $8.55. That's a good bumper for this particular segment since we got a little Mexican thing going on with the.
Yeah.
That's
no coincidences, right? Because that was just a random.
Mexican music, please.
Are you with me?
Even if you make it up.
Are you with me by Lost Frequencies?
La cucaracha.
Similar. All right.
Pepe puedo comer. La cucaracha. I give you the Dirty Sanchez. So it's a 70-30 ground meat, cooked medium. We got a little carne, homemade. The chili carne and con carne, no beans. We got the queso cheese and the jalapenos, lettuce, and some mayo. That's it. Now, the reason why we don't have tomatoes, onions, all that other stuff, because if you're worth your salt, and you know what that means?
What?
Being worth your salt. You know how that saying started?
How? How did it start?
The Roman centurions were paid with salt.
Okay.
And if a guy wasn't a good soldier, he wasn't worth his salt.
Mm.
So my lady, Amparo Hernandez,
Does that
cocina
have
muy
something to do with,
bueno
like,
en los
Lot's wife or
cocinan
something?
Rocco's todos los días. So she made it. So you put onions.
Okay.
You put the Trinity. You put
There we go.
tomatoes. Okay, diced tomatoes.
Right.
So it's already in the chili. Because if it was just chili, they would just call it chili.
Right.
Now, there are some people, some companies that make chili different ways, and they might have a little bell pepper, onions, and a little tomatoes. But it's already in there. And, of course, if you put beans on it, it's going to throw it completely off it, because that's not what you're trying to do with it. But chili con carne with beans is actually very good on, like, nachos and stuff like that. So,
which is where I'm going to start with reviewing.
bro.
This is where I'm going to start with
What you
reviewing a
got?
sandwich. Okay, first and foremost, you get that chili con carne and the queso, and it's bringing like that nacho feel to it. It's like biting into nachos or a Frito pie or something like that. But the hamburger meat is a completely opposite flavor because it's not seasoned like it would be for a taco. It's not. I mean, don't think of it like ground meat like you've had in a taco or a burrito or anything Mexican. Think of it like a traditional American hamburger, and that's where you get the comparison between the two flavors. That's where the two things come together. And by the way, your jalapenos are fire.
yeah. We make those in-house. Actually, we don't. We buy them from Costco. Anyway, so I will tell you this, though, and I know it's been always a joy to be here, brother. I love you. Give him the shtick. What's the line, brother? Give it to him.
If you put a po' boy on top of your head, you'll beat your brains out with your tongue trying to get at it.
Now, this po' boy's going to start as the po' boy of the week next week, and you can pick any one of the cheeses. But I will make this comment about the cheese. Just the simplicity, when you have culinary ability and talents that surpass yours for sure. Anyway, look, the cheese, just like you put cheddar on it. What do you think it's going to taste like when you put cheddar on it?
I think it's going to have more of a traditional hamburger taste.
A barbecue-y.
Yeah.
You put pepper jack on it. What kind of feel you think you're going to get then?
I really don't know.
You're just going to get it like a chili, burger with just hot cheese.
Okay,
But just that little change
with
in
the
taste
queso,
buds, your taste buds.
It's smashing two flavors together.
Right, and it's more traditional Mexican is my point. And when you do cheddar, the sharpness of the cheddar, it's going to taste like a smoky house-like burger that you would buy at the old Luther's.
Okay.
Remember Luther's Barbecue?
I don't remember Luther's.
Oh, bro.
Whoa, no. I remember the commercials. I remember the commercials.
14, 15.
Yeah.
Fish bowls. Anyway, they had one. And the pepper jack cheese as well. I mean, it gives it a different flavor, because that white queso is a hard.
The queso is the way to roll, though.
Yeah, but it's not. I can't say it's a sharp flavor, but it's a little more intense than a pepper jack.
Right.
On the flavor of the cheese, not the spice, is what I'm speaking of.
Yeah.
So tell them where we are, brother.
You're on Drusilla Lane. Why am I forgetting the exact address?
3358 Drusilla Lane, 248-1999. Look, we're going to be jam-packed today, busy on every time. We get a big crowd, on regionals.
Getting ready for Super Regionals.
Yeah, everybody's coming in. Rocco's going to be a place to be. We'll be popping, and we'd love to see you there. And remember,
in order to make
a great New Orleans style, boy,
you got to be from New Orleans. Stick
we
around
will
on Facebook
see
Live.
you there. Thanks, brother.
All right, on Facebook Live, the remainder of that review is the clashing of the two flavors. Normally, when you come in here, things like accentuate each other. This is like they're going at it, man. This is like I don't know.
I'll tell you what our concern was, because we sample everything.
Yeah.
I told you what we do. Okay. The employees come up with the po' boy of the week, right? Mm-hmm. And then they get a little cut of cheese based on how many is sold. There's a threshold. They buy 50, you get 100, whatever, but it is. During that month.
Okay.
That week.
Yeah.
They don't. The most I think we ever see. So it's like $50 to $100.
Okay.
You break this point, and it really is depending on. So we do it too. We look back what we did at the same time last year.
Hey, let me. John, can you go grab a bunch out of the bathroom? Yeah. Everybody left. I'm in the middle of the damn segment. I know he's nowhere near the damn microphone anyway, so y'all can't hear him, but everybody left. All right. So I'm having trouble describing how the hamburger plays back into it because it's not like taco meat. It's ground beef, yes. But in the hamburger patty season, like a hamburger, you get that salt pepper flavor. That's what's making it clash together like that. And when I say clash, it's not a bad thing. It's actually a very, very good thing. That the way the two things come together is amazing. Even though it's, like I said, it feels like a clash, not a accentuation, as it were. So, all right, Rocco, you were mid-sentence when you left the room.
So okay, so now I also have.
You were talking about
the cheeses and the different.
Duke and the staff a little bit extra when they come up with a good po' boy.
Yeah, the po' boy of the week. It'll start Monday because we already have one running this week.
And we are calling it the Dirty Sanchez?
No.
Damn. That was just for the airways.
That was just for the airways, just shock value, just to cause people. No. My wife would kill me. No, because there are people that know what that means. So,
what does it mean?
Matter of fact, let me give you one right now.
Oh man.
No, but we are going to make it. We are going to play a little joke because Amparo, when we asked her what we thought she would call it, she's been around us for a while, and she's, one of the things I tell you, brother, is my people that I work with, I make them speak English to me.
Yeah.
Now I speak Spanish back and forth with them, but if they know no English, like when she first started walking, she didn't know any English, and I make her speak English. If she says something in Spanish, I say it back to her in English, and she repeats it. Then I repeat it back to her in Spanish, so she knows I understand what she's saying. And she says she didn't know how to say it in English, the translation, what it would be. But she said, call it the gringo. So gringo is like what Latino people call American wannabes that are trying to, And so I don't think that's that fast. I've seen that on Mexican menu restaurants. I mean, the Dirty Sanchez. It's
a bit much. All right. Well,
the Holy Spirit's present in Rocco's, bro. Whether people believe it or not, I know they think I'm crazy because I am. But I'm not gonna put that.
Yeah, but you got limits.
I have chopped onions.
I know.
Okay.
You do have chopped onions?
Yes, and some people like it with chopped onions, especially the one I would recommend with the cheddar cheese. Because then it makes it taste even more like a Roadhouse,
barbecue. Yeah.
So, what do you want me to do with it? You want me to cut this half and half, or leave this?
Yeah, cut that half and half. We'll do quarters on them. All right.
What's the Oscar Musa send off?
Do what? Oh.
Seafood City is a very pretty. Down on Broad and St. Bernard. That's Seafood City, 1826 North Broad.
Did they do a big?
Okay.
So they do this. Everybody waves. But if you go back and Google a YouTube video, you could probably pull it up right here. I don't know what you got, computers and stuff. Yeah. Look, they got one guy, big tall black guy in the left. Everybody does this. And he's the only one dude, and he does this. He goes the opposite way. One dude. And then I got another one for you, Haldane.
What?
Tell me if you remember this one. Yeah. You know the special, man. I'm not even going to do that one, but do you remember this one? Today from 9 to 5 p.m., there will be a full liquidation sale at John F. Lawrence.
Yes.
Do you remember that? And the RCA man from New Orleans? He went on to found do you remember what he went on to do? Or do you know?
RCA man from New Orleans.
Yeah, you remember when you was at your grandmother's house and it was a Friday night and they were watching CBS, 60 Minutes and MASH? I watched a lot of Rockwood Files and Barnaby Jones. It was the worst station. Everybody was watching ABC. Welcome Back, Carter, and all of that. My grandparents wouldn't let us watch. They had to watch that. And they had those console TVs, Everybody had to get in. They had the ones that flipped up. They had a little turntable in it, speakers on the side. Y'all remember your grandparents?
I remember console TV. I remember console TV.
They had the freaking shag green carpet. Everybody smoked. There was ashtrays everywhere. It's just like, y'all can't forget that. We all in the same age group.
Yeah. No, I remember it.
Except for JP's a little young turd. I don't know, man. But yeah, look, I dropped one of the burgers on the floor.
Well, just don't say which one. Don't say which one, and we'll never know.
It would be good if you just go walk.
By the way, there's still a little bit of pink in the burger. Is there?
Because I told them to leave it pink because my plan was if you had the microwave up here, I could have done everything real quick, and I was going to cook the burgers to medium. So they are a little pink because they're not.
Well, I like it pink.
And if he fully cooks them, he's going to dry them out. And
Right.
So when you eat them, if they're cold, they're going to taste like Chautauqua.
Mm-hmm.
Let me move this just right here.
All right. Yep. Oh, don't even. I filed a formal protest when the microwave was taken away. That ain't my fault.
Let your brother in Christ take care of you. He'll throw you under the bus any day.
From a deep place.
Let me make little poo-poo Scotty his because he's lactose intolerant. Boy, he can't handle everything. All right, what you doing, brother? I know childhood nickname.
Meat, bread, and lettuce.
Meat, you don't want any. No cheese, but I've got like you want some onions, jalapenos, something like that. Some raw onions.
Sure.
Because the chili con queso, like I was explaining on the air, has like.
Rocco looks like me when I was cutting grass yesterday.
Yeah, man.
What you looking for? Oh yeah, you just skip the mayo.
You don't like mayo?
We're going to get out of here on Facebook. I think we're all done. Facebook, we'll see y'all on Monday. Thanks for playing along.
Hey!